Scotland's a wild and lovely place.
But there's a change we must embrace.
Scotland's water's world class.
No doubt.
So, take a refillable bottle.
When you go out.
It's your water, your life.
Top up from the tap with Scottish water.
Fresh, cool, clear.
And only available right here.
Back to Tollcross International Swim Centre for session 6 of the 2022 Scottish National Age Group Championships. Second night of finals. I'm Duncan McKinnell, and tonight I'm delighted to be joined in the commentary box by Phil Potter, head coach of Heart of Midlothian. Welcome, Phil.
Hi, Duncan.
It's going to be a good night, I think. We've got lots of exciting races coming up. The lineup will be coming up on your screen very shortly of what we've got in store for us. Just confirming, it is session 6. We're nearly 2 days through here with what we've got. So running through the age group, starting with the youngsters 11 to 13 and going up to 17, 18. So 5 finals in each of those events. We'll talk about the 400s later. But 200 breaststroke gets us going with the girls, then 200 butterfly, 100 backstroke, back to the girls, and 50 breaststroke. Then in the 400s, we had heat declared winners for the younger swimmers this afternoon. So it's the 15s, 16s, and 17, 18s that will be going in the 400 individual medley for girls and 400 freestyle for boys. So that lot, Phil, what takes your pick?
Oh, there's so many exciting races coming up. There's going to be a lot of close races, I'm sure, as you pointed out before. Looking at one of the girls that I coach as well. I think we're looking forward to the 100 backstroke for the girls 17-18. It should be a great race between Holly McGill and Anna Green, who've come from British Championships last week as well.
So absolutely no hanging about here. The swimmers are lined up for our first race. There is the lineup, and this is the 11 to 13 years 200 breaststroke final. And the lineup is Eva Robertson of Highland in 0, Lucy Fleming of East Lothian in 1, Ella Thompson of Perth City in 2, Leonie Bebra of Incas in 3, Zara Kravitz, the fastest qualifier from East Lothian in 4, Jessica Kirkwood of Aberdeen Performance in 5, Molly Irvin-Watson of Stranraer in 6, Emily Jackson goes for Newcastle Swim Team in 7, Daisy McInnes, the City of Glasgow in 8, and Abby Coventry, just 11 years old, goes for Tynemouth in lane 9. Well, swimmers are just being held at the blocks now, all looking around a bit quizzically as to what's going on, and I think the officials look to be looking around a bit quizzically as well. So just a little bit of a pause here, but in this race, what are you expecting? So 2 swimmers under the 3 minutes, 1 just over, 3:00:01. So do you think it'll be those 3?
It certainly looks like it on paper. It's going to be interesting to see what if anybody can step up from having done heat swims early this afternoon to put out something special this evening.
As a coach, what were you looking for, and particularly for these younger swimmers of progressing through heats and finals? Because a lot of them, this is new territory for them, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Particularly, these girls have just swum in the afternoon, so they've not had a big gap between heats and finals. Some of them swam at their skins to just make the final, and some of them not particularly used to swimming long course or competing long course as well. So it'll just be a case of who can rise up and bring something special out after having put in good swims in the heats.
So if you were coaching one of these girls, what would you be saying to them going into this final?
In this particular situation, I'd be trying to make sure they kept their cool, as well as nothing worse than getting all hyped up, ready for a race and then a bit of a delay. Just really trying to keep their cool all the way through the race. There's a tendency to kind of over rev, particularly on breaststroke, over stroke rate. So I think that's important that they just keep a good, sensible stroke rate and not try to overdo it in the first half of the race.
And I guess the temptation is to go out too fast, and then we saw a few swimmers with that issue this afternoon in the heats where they really went out strong, and then it got very difficult down the final 50. Let's hope we won't see any of that.
Absolutely.
Looks like the referee is just giving... Yep, he's blowing his whistle. So I think now we will be off. It certainly was a bit nervy for those swimmers, just that wait, not knowing what was going on. But now they can focus on the job in hand. So away they go. One stroke there allowed before they break. And quickly into stroke in lane 4 is Zara Kravitz, the winner of the 50 breaststroke last night. Also had a couple of silver medals so far, including in the 400 IM this afternoon. So she's looking pretty good.
Absolutely, yeah, really good first 25 meters, and I don't think she's over-revving or overrated. Looks like she's well in control of the stroke.
She was a 39.02 in the heats this morning at the 50, so slightly faster than that. Already just over a second up, Leonie Bebra and Jessica Kirkwood, the top three, the three that we thought might be up there. But there's others vying for certainly the bronze medal behind Zara and Leonie. The Inca swimmer going very nicely in lane 3. But Zara has about a body length on her at the moment. Third place looks to be Jessica Kirkwood of Aberdeen Performance. So these leading three, all 13-year-olds. We've got a couple of 12-year-olds, and as I said earlier, the one 11-year-old in lane 9. She's in that sort of group of 5 swimmers in the second half of the race. But through the halfway, 1:24.03, now a second and a bit faster than she was this afternoon. Would you be looking for progression from heats to finals from these younger swimmers? Or is that something you'd maybe look for from the more experienced ones?
Absolutely, that'd be the ideal. Some of them obviously inexperienced, so it's difficult to say whether they've got the ability to step up and do that. But we can clearly see at the front of the race, there's gone out a little bit quicker. Spotted the turn at halfway a little bit better than she did on the first 50.
So she's looking in good shape here, and Leonie and Jessica, that's looking like the 1-2-3. So the difference from the heat times is that Leonie is ahead of Jessica, but coming back now to the final 50, you see those intermediate splits, 45 for Zara, 46s for Leonie and Jessica. So Zara continuing to stretch her lead out now. So looking for gold medal number 2, not including relays. And this is excellent start for her to the evening's proceedings. Still Leonie Bebra. I'm not sure we've had an Inca swimmer on the podium yet. Looks like we will now. And Jessica Kirkwood in 3rd place. 4th place in the orange cap, the Stranraer swimmer Molly Irvin-Watson. But she's not going to catch Jessica. So the 1-2-3 is clear. Let's see what Zara's time is. So she was 2:56.56 in the heats, a nice improvement on that, 2:53.70. 2nd place Leonie Bebra, and 3rd Jessica Kirkwood. Oh, she looks fairly happy with that. Having a wee medal contest with her brother, of course, Stefan, who swims in the 16-year-olds. And at the moment, I think Zara is winning that battle.
Oh, wow. Get bragging rights at home.
Absolutely. And confirmation of that result. So medalists Zara Kravitz, Leonie Bebra and Jessica Kirkwood. So well done to them. Molly Irvin-Watson 4th, Ella Thompson 5th. Abby Coventry, the 11-year-old, 5th equal in fact 5th, 6th, I think, because that placings get a bit confused if they slot in a backup time. And I think that's probably what's happened with Ella Thompson. So, yep, there we are, confirmation of that. Good swim from Abby Coventry, though. 6th place out of the 11-year-old, 2 years younger than the winners. So we go to the 14-year-old final. They are at the blocks now. The line-up coming up on the screen for you. They are Niamh Quinn of Kintyre in 0. Freya Beaton, City of Glasgow in 1. Mirren Gibb of Stranraer in 2. Ellie Kennedy of City of Glasgow in 3. Her teammate Madeline Patterson in 4. Kari Preacher of Lerwick in 5. Sydney Boyd of Midlothian in lane 6. Orla Henderson of Shetland in 7. Alice Cumming, City of Glasgow in 8. And Macy Carty of Fauldhouse in lane 9. So the fastest qualifier for this one, Madeline Patterson, 2:56.0. Then we've got 2 swimmers who qualified on 2:57s either side of her. Ellie Kennedy in 3 and Kari Preacher in lane 5. So off to a good start in lane 6 is Midlothian Sydney Boyd. And we talked about slightly the wheels falling off this afternoon, and I think that was sort of the case with Sydney. She went out very strong and then struggled a bit, so hopefully Coach Colin Barton will be just counselling her to manage her race carefully here. Madeline Patterson leads the way, 38.20, up by 9/10 from Kari. Ellie Kennedy third, just 400 ahead of Sydney Boyd. Do you see a big difference in technique from the 13-year-olds to the 14-year-olds, that extra year? Does it?
No, not a huge amount. I don't think in terms of technique. I think perhaps in terms of racecraft and, you know, the ability to put a race together on doing a breaststroke. You know, we'll look to see some fast third 50s here. I think we saw in the previous race there's 3 of the girls being faster on the third 50 than they were on the second 50. You can see that on the scoreboard here. So that's a good little function that we can see. So let's see how many people can make a move down the third quarter of the race here.
So Madeline then, so take a note of that, 44.7s and 45.1s for the top 3 for their second 50 splits, and 122.99 the cumulative split for Madeline. Certainly being challenged pretty hard here by the Lerwick swimmer, Kari Preacher. So she's looking good for a podium spot, and still going well is Sydney Boyd in lane 5. In a bit of a scrap, I think, for third at the moment with Ellie Kennedy. But it's Madeline just holding that lead, but not really building on it. I think she'd be a wee bit concerned that she can't shake Kari off.
It's going to be really important to see what happens going in and around this last turn then.
So 45.6, 45.2, 45.9, so a little bit slower in that third 50 than the second. Coming out of the turns is Madeline. She had a pretty good turn there, didn't she?
Absolutely, yep. Got to try and hold on to the technique and keep the hips and the body position nice and high through this final 50.
Kari is certainly giving a good go here in lane 5, and she's definitely closing, and Sydney Boyd also looking strong down the last length now. So this is not over by any means yet. The 2 swimmers in the centre lane just about together. Also pushing on is Ellie Kennedy in lane 3, but I think it's between lanes 4 and 5 here. Madeline has led all the way through. Is she going to hold on? I think she is. It's going to be a City of Glasgow win from Madeline Patterson, but she had to work for it. My goodness, she did. 2:53.83 takes the win. Kari Preacher second. Ellie Kennedy just nudging ahead of Sydney Boyd for the bronze medal. You can see there that pink face. That was hard work for Madeline to get that one done, but fair play to her.
She really did work for it. There was an excellent last 50s from most of those girls in that race. Fought really hard, but on breaststroke it's really important to hold on to the technique down the final 50. So get that balance between effort and technique.
So there is confirmation. And Patterson, Preacher and Kennedy. So I think we talked about swimmers on the podium for the first time. I think that's our first Lerwick swimmer will be making their way to the podium shortly. So well done to Kari. 2 City of Glasgow swimmers will be joining her. On to the 15-year-olds now. And the lineup for you there. Perry Scobby of Stirling Swim in 0. May Rogers of Warrender in 1. Ailey Robertson, winner of the 50 last night, goes for South Ayrshire in 2. Tegan Black is having a good meet, goes for East Lothian in 3. Charlotte Hardy, South Ayrshire, she was in the 1-2s with South Ayrshire on the 50. Kirsty Neal of Bishop Stortford in 5. Katie Coventry, so we saw Abby earlier, now we've got Big Sister going in lane 6 for Tynemouth. Lucy Nimmo of North Lanarkshire in 7. Charlotte Thompson of Midlothian in 8. And Susie McNair of First in lane 9. So fastest qualifier here, Charlotte Hardy, swimming for South Ayrshire, is down in Millfield. But South Ayrshire is her route. She's just 400ths faster than Kirsty Neal, the Scot based at Bishop Stortford. So this could be an absolute cracker, you would think. These ones much faster than anybody else, Charlotte and Kirsty on the heats this morning, so you would think it will be a head-to-head in the centre lanes. Let's see. So off they go. Good strong start from Ailey Robertson in lane 2. So was she saving her energies this morning? But Charlotte now, certainly she has a sort of determined look about her in lane 4 to set the pace here. And we've got the black caps, Tegan Black in 3, Kirsty Neal in 5. Also up there in 6, Katie Coventry. But Charlotte really has set the pace here, second half up early on. So 4 swimmers all fairly much a line behind her. Katie Coventry, I think, just edging into second place now. So at the moment, it's not working out how I thought. A head-to-head between lanes 4 and 5. Do you think Katie Neal can bring it back in the second half?
We've only got 110, 150 metres to go, but that certainly looks like it'll be a tough task to bring back. It really depends on how well Charlotte's going to do on the last 100, but it's a fairly controlled 150 and 8, and looks to be overdue in the first 100. So let's see what can happen down the second half.
So she was about half a second faster than Kirsty on that second 50, and well, at the moment they don't look to be making any impact at all. Kirsty Neal is just edging second place now ahead of Katie Coventry and Ailey Robertson. Those two contesting third, about a metre behind Kirsty. Maybe she is starting to make ground though. Let's see what the gap is at the 150, but it does look like Kirsty is starting to close. Has she left it too late though? Her split was half a second faster than Kirsty's, but she's still 2 seconds behind. So this is tough, I think, for Kirsty to bring that back unless something horrible happens to Charlotte, and I don't think it's going to. But Kirsty is giving it a go here. The gap is continuing to shrink. They've got, 20 metres to go, and she is really bringing it back here. This would be a huge comeback if she could do it. She is within a metre now, and Charlotte must be feeling her on her shoulder. It's really, really tight as they come into the final 5, but is Kirsty going to take it? She is! Well, I did not see that coming at all. 2:39.47, Kirsty Neal. Charlotte Hardy, 2:39.98, just pipped at the post. Second night running, pipped into second place for Charlotte. So she'll not be too happy about that, but there you can see BSSC, British Stortford Swimming Club. Kirsty Neal, you are the Scottish National Age Group Champion.
Wow, fantastic last 50 from Kirsty. 2.5 seconds quicker than Charlotte over the final 50. She came back like a train.
Yeah, you'd think she shouldn't be able to do that. It just should not be possible. Kirsty Coventry getting the bronze medal for Tynemouth, ahead of Charlotte Thompson and Ailey Robertson, and Tegan Black, in fact, in 4th. Tegan Black very nearly getting onto the podium there, just 1500ths away. But well done, Kirsty, with that final 50. And that's sort of the sort of swim that must give coaches heart failure, when you're so far behind and then or so far ahead and then you don't win it.
Absolutely. I think it's tougher being on Charlotte's coach, perhaps, in that kind of situation, hoping that they're going to hang on. But it was great to see
Kirsty Neal,
Kirsty coming through so strong at the end. It's when you got that kind of the hair in your sights when you're coming through the final 50, it's really motivating.
So our first presentations of the night. So these are the 11 to 13s and the 14-year-old girls from the 200 breaststroke. And it's, I think, former National President Margaret Somerville will be making the presentations, and the bronze medal goes to Jessica Kirkwood, lovely performance for the 11 to 13s, and for City of Glasgow's Ella Kennedy in the 14-year-old age group. The silver medalists in the green, Leonie Bebra of Incas, and in the 14-year-old age group, Lerwick's Kari Preacher. And your national age group champions then. In the 11 to 13 age group, East Lothian, Zara Kravitz. And in the 14-year-old age group, from City of Glasgow, Madeline Pathson. Nice to see our first medalists. How do coaches see medal presentations? Are they just a pain in the neck because of would you rather have them collect their medals, or do you think it's nice to have your swimmers just get in front of everybody and get their moment of glory?
I think it's fantastic for the swimmers. It's great that we're able to get medal presentations for the coaches. Obviously we're happy for the swimmers. I guess if we didn't have medal presentations, the session would be done a little bit earlier, which on 5 long days is maybe a positive, but the swimmers need to have that kind of bit of a moment where they're up there and getting the recognition they deserve.
A moment in the sun for them, yep. So the 16-year-olds up next. There's the lineup. Erica Watt, one of your guys. Heart of Midlothian in lane 0. Eleanor Ross of Highland in 1. Sarah McNaughton of Warrender in 2. Amy McLeod, City of Glasgow in 3. Lucy Stoves, Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Chloe Bown of Bath University in 5. Leah Bullock of South Lanarkshire in 6. Hayley Armstrong of East Lothian in 7. Ella McGeorge of Cooper in 8. And Amy McAlonan of Red 96 in lane 9. Lucy Stoves, the fastest, qualified by quite a margin, 4 seconds. 2:42.43 against Chloe Bown's 2:40.696. And then Amy McLeod 2:50. So on paper, quite spread out. Doesn't always work that way, of course. Who knows what's going to happen after that last race? I'm not going to make any predictions anymore. So off they go. Lucy Stowe's the winner in the 50 breaststroke yesterday. In the pink cap of Dundee City Aquatics. Beside her in lane 5 is Chloe Bown. In 16 age group, of course, there's all these swimmers, so not quite sure how you get to swim for Bath University as age 15 or 16, but Chloe's doing it, so we'll see how she does. I think she's going to lead them through the 50, not by much, a 10th. Over Lucy Stoves, Amy McLeod in 3rd, and then best part of a second back to Sarah McNaughton. So Chloe perhaps was holding back in the heats earlier because she is looking pretty good here. And she did come into the meet with a faster entry time than Lucy by about a second. Time of 2:40 that she did at the Somerset County Championships. See whether she can continue to lead this one out. Thirdly, now this is how I thought that the previous event was going to go, with 2 lanes, 2 swimmers in lanes 4 and 5 going head to head. A couple of tenths in it only.
Certainly shaping up to be that way. I guess with the some of the older age group heats, you can't always go by what times they do in the heats, because sometimes they may be holding back a little bit, conserving themselves, and if they know they have the kind of bit of a comfort zone to be able to do that, sometimes that will happen. And also coming back for evening finals as well is a bit more of a motivator and feeling good and ready to race faster in the evenings.
So this is all shaping up very nicely for a head-to-head down the final length. Look at them absolutely together at the turn. 1:59.65. Lucy just edging into the lead by 1,500. You can see 41.9 against 42.3. Their respective splits for the third 50. But Chloe got a good turn then, just edged her maybe back into the lead. And that's certainly an advantage for her. Let's see if Lucy can have another go at her in this last half length. Amy McLeod looks set for the bronze medal, but who's going to get the gold here? It's Chloe in the dark cap, Lucy in the pink. Still the advantage slightly with Chloe Bown to come under the flags into the final 5. She's just got the edge of things, but she needs to nail a finish, and she does that and takes the win. 2:42.43. She's not a Scot, so Lucy Stowes, as well as the silver medal, will get the Scottish national medal, and Amy McLeod taking the bronze. Chloe being a bit inscrutable there, I think, with her look as she holds on, maybe just trying to get the oxygen more than anything else. But nice swim from her, and came under pressure in that third length, but responded well. The turn, I think, made quite a difference for her.
Absolutely, yeah, really strong last 50 from both girls, and it really did just come down to the finish there. Interesting to see that Chloe did the same time in the final as Lucy did in the heats, exactly the same time. So
I mean, maybe Lucy will be a little bit disappointed that she couldn't replicate her heat performance again this evening. Sometimes that is tough to do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So the 17-18 is the last of our 200 breaststroke finals. We've got Holly Lumsden of Hearts in lane 0, Amy Bell of Midlothian in 1, Naomi Maguire, City of Leicester in 2, Ciara Davidson, the City of Glasgow in 3, Nuala Gow of Geary in 4, Erin Taylor of Finns in 5, Amy Watson of Inverclyde in 6, Thanrada McGregor of Warrender in 7, Jessica Schultz of Perth City in 8, and Sophie Hall of Warrender in lane 9. Nuala Gow, fastest, 2:37.68. We'll see her again in the individual medley later on. She's up in this time, thick against Erin Taylor would be the main threat, though Amy Watson, the winner of the 50 yesterday, so she could be a threat. She's in that white cap in lane 6. Ciara Davison, also a really strong breaststroker. We've got the hot swimmer Holly Lumsden in lane 0. Good start from Amy Watson in lane 6, but getting into the stroke now, and it's Erin Taylor of Finns, the Cordy-based team, just edging it now. So she'll be looking to open up a handy lead if she can. See what her time is at the 50, 34.75. That is around about 4/10 faster than she was in the heats. Nuala in the pale blue cap in lane 4. And then it's Amy Watson and Ciara Davison. Pretty close. Amy Watson maybe up with Nuala Gow at the moment, challenging for second place, maybe, well, not even a metre behind Erin. So approaching halfway. Well, it is about a metre now, the gap, 1:15.26 against 1:15.93, both of them on 40.5 splits, Erin and Nuala, with Amy Watson a 10th ahead of Ciara Davidson, so that's also going to be a scrap. So again, it's going to be a lane 4, lane 5 battle. See whether Nuala, with that endurance that she has as a great 400 IMer, can mount the challenge on Erin, who has been on great form in recent weeks. At the moment, she's holding that lead of best part of a metre. So we'll see what their respective splits were for that last one. In fact, Nuala Gow, just as they came into the wall, suddenly closed it down. Coming out of the turn, there is absolutely nothing in it here. And this is where the pressure really builds. I guess it is about holding a stroke under pressure now.
That was a great 5 in, 10 out from Nuala, but Erin's looking extremely good. We're going to the final 15.
Yeah, can she hold on here? It's so far so good, but Nuala is not done yet. These two coming in to the final 5 metres, and really this is about the touch now. Who strokes it? Gets her. Erin does by 300. I had just thought as they came in there that Nuala perhaps was in a better position to just get that in terms of where she was in the stroke. just judging that finish and getting the stroke right, particularly in breaststroke, I guess, is really a skill in its own.
For sure, you got to be spotting the finish from 6 or 7 meters out, really, to know exactly which stroke you're going to finish on. So that really needs a cool, calm head to be able to do that. Both girls finished pretty well, and to my eye, neither had got that one, so it shows how close it can be.
Yeah, I must admit, I was the same as you. I thought it was going to be Nuala coming up, but credit to Erin. She got the job done. Third place in the bronze medal, Ciara Davidson of the city of Glasgow. So well done to those girls, and they'll be joining the swimmers who are now coming out to the podium for the older girls presentation, starting here with the 15s and the 16s. Once again, it's Margaret Somerville doing the honours for us. The bronze medalist in the 15 age group from Tynemouth is Katie Coventry. And in the 16-year-olds from the city of Glasgow, Amy McLeod. The silver medalists, South Ayrshire's Charlotte Hardy. So close, that one. And also a very close one, Lucy Stowes. She looked pretty pleased with it, though. And the gold medalists and national champions. National age group champion from Bishop Stortford, Kirsty Neal. And Chloe Bown, this National Open champion, or Scottish Open champion I should say, because not a Scot, but she was fastest, so she gets the gold. But also to get a gold will be Lucy Stowes as the fastest Scot. Oh, she clapped there and said, "Oh, that's me." Oh, right, I'll get 2 medals, that's all right. Well done, Lucy. Now they should be being joined by the 17-18s who've just got time to get themselves kitted up. And here they are. They're supposed to go around the back, girls, but hey, who's worrying? Bronze medalist from City of Glasgow, Ciara Davidson. Still a bit red in the face. Not surprisingly, silver medalist Nuala Gow from Geary. I like the new Geary outfit, that's very stylish. And the gold medalist and Scottish national age group champion, also pretty red in the face from Finns, Erin Taylor. I guess it does take you a while after a race like that just to cool yourself down, calm down. I guess they'd really rather be in the swim down pool at the moment. Particularly if they've got another event to come like Nuala has.
Very important to get down in that swim down pool, and I guess the only good thing for them is at least not get interviewed and having to talk straight after a hard race like that.
Yeah, you don't think it would be fair on us to try and introduce that on Snags? Give the practice at that. Maybe we'll do that at the national championships instead. So we have 200 butterfly here for you. We don't have a full field on the 11 to 30, it's just the 6 swimmers here. Unfortunately, we had a disqualification in the heats, which we would have had 7, but one swimmer succumbed. So the 6 we've got, Ruben Lees of Warrender in lane 2, Daniel Hendry of City of Glasgow in 3, Archie MacArthur of Inverclyde in 4, James Kilpatrick of Carnegie in 5, Ethan Collins, North Lanarkshire in 6, and Matthew Piatek of Aberdeen Performance in 7. Archie MacArthur winner this afternoon in the 400 free, and James Kilpatrick, our gold medalist yesterday. Entry times, heat times I should say, Archie 2:29, James 2:36. So it's a funny situation when you know that you're going to go through. There are less than 10 in the age group. So again, what would be your advice as a coach and how to do that? Do you hold back and then save yourself for the final, or do you treat it as a serious heats and finals affair?
I think one, don't get disqualified.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, absolutely, that's key. But it really depends on the swimmer. Sometimes if you try to go slow, purposely slow on fly, particularly in tuna fly, that can be quite tough to do. So I think it's whatever the swimmers feel comfortable doing, just do it safely, sensibly, and ensure that you do progress through to the final.
So Archie MacArthur, 31.34, is setting a good pace here. And opening up quite a handy lead early on. He was a 1:14, that can't be right, I think 1:49 at 1:50. Written it down as if it was the 100 split, but certainly not going to be that here. So he is looking pretty good for this one to make it a double gold day for him in the Clyde swimmer. Daniel Hendry pacing the same pace there, so he's still within 2 seconds. So he's going well there in lane 3. Third place, James Kilpatrick, going capless, which he's been doing all week actually. I suppose you guess you have a nice short trim haircut and it doesn't hold you back too much. So it is Archie, and really can't see past him now for the gold. 1:40, well, 50.17. 39.5. James Kilpatrick now is the one who is swimming fast, and he's just edged past Daniel Hendry. Maybe just paying a bit for trying to go out with Archie. And now into third place. These three a long way clear of everybody else, as you can see from your screen. Nobody else in camera shot. Just edging now the swimmer in lane 6, Ethan Collins, but no doubt really as to how this is going to end up. So Archie was 2:29.78 and the heat's, not quite as fast as that this evening, 2:30.69, but do a 2:29 and a 2:30 twice in the day, and a second gold medal for him as well. So happy days for the Inverclyde swimmer. Second, James Kilpatrick. Third, Daniel Hendry. And here comes the remaining swimmers in. So fourth place was Ethan Collins, and then Ruben Lees and Matthew Piatek coming in almost together. And there is the confirmed result. So Archie MacArthur, James Kilpatrick, Daniel Hendry. We'll be seeing them shortly on the podium. And we move to the 14-year-olds. Line up for this one. Just waiting for it to come up on the screen for you, but we'll have Ewan Stevenson of first in 0, Ismail Shalabi of Warrender in 1, Tristan Robbins, City of Glasgow in 2, Oscar Churnside of Geary in 3, Jamie Beach of Newcastle in 4, Ross Anderton of East Lothian in 5, Toby Bullock of Midlothian in 6, Tom Jeffords around 96 in 7, Noah Lucatelli of Warrender in 8, and Jed Armitage of Highland swim team in lane 9. Fastest qualifier here, Jamie Beach of Newcastle, another who's not a Scot. So we'll see how he goes. Ross Anderton of East Lothian, 2:32 against Jamie's 2:29, and Oscar Churnside 2:33. Toby Bullock 2:34 and Tristan Robin 2:35. So they're the front runners. 3-second advantage on paper for Jamie. And the dark caps in evidence. Newcastle, a very strong programme. East Lothian having a wonderful meet. So off they go. you can tell there's a first swimmer in the race, because next to our commentary position we have the drummers of first doing their stuff, and they're supporting Ewan Stevenson in lane 0, who's off to a decent enough start. But well, Ross Anderton, look at him go. Well, he's obviously decided to take the bull by the horns here and see whether the others can go with him. Look at that, 29.9 for his first 50. Jamie Beach much more controlled, 31.5. Oscar Churnside turning third. Do you think he's gone off too fast here? Is this dangerous?
We are going to find out over the next 125 meters. It looked like a great first 50. It always is a danger whether you've gone off too quick, but we'll find out. Maybe he does have it in him to be able to continue over the final 2 lengths.
I'm sure he would have gone through a race strategy with the Slothing coaching team. We'll see though whether Jamie Beach is going to start to pull this one back. So through the halfway, and well, Ross still slightly faster than Jamie, 37.5 and 37.8, but to go from a 29.9 to a 37, is that an alarm bells, do you think?
Well, it's not alarm bells if he can keep 37s going. It's whether there's going to be a further drop, in time, but it is quite a big 29 to 37. That's not necessarily what you'd want, but let's see what can happen.
Well, he's gutsing it out at the moment, but I think Jamie is starting to claw the lead down. Third place still Oscar Churnside in the yellow, but that gap has definitely shrunk quite a lot now. So Ross will be feeling this now and down to a 40. So, ooh, that's hard, 39. So, but Jamie has also slowed down. So I might just give Ross some hope here. If they're both feeling it a bit, but well, Jamie maybe just starting to edge it. So Ross is a very determined character, Ross Anderton, but can he somehow find something in this last 15 to come back at Jamie Beach? Don't discount Oscar Churnside. He has come up really well in lane 3. I think he's gone past Ross Anderton, and he is challenging Jamie Beach. Who's going to get the touch here? It's on the touch. Whoa, that was so close in the end. Completely different places in their stroke as they came in, but Jamie Beach just hanging on there from Oscar Churnside, who was on a real charge. Well, that was very interesting, that race.
A great race. We were concentrating on lanes 4 and 5, but lane 3, Oscar came through so strong, 38.00 for his final leg.
Yeah, very, very close indeed, but just waiting for the official time to come up. They haven't yet called an official result, so we'll just hope that there's no complications. And it's just taking a little while here. I don't know whether there is some sort of consultation going on. In fact, yes, there is a disqualification. Unfortunately, that's going to be Toby Bullock out of lane 6, the Midlothian swimmer. So it's unfortunate for him. So just see if that now is a confirmed result with that amendment. Still taking time to come up with the result, so let's just hold our horses for the moment. We're just coming back to that Oscar Churnside charge, and I guess we clearly Ross Anderton was overly aggressive at the beginning, but is the same true of Oscar, that maybe he wasn't aggressive enough at the beginning, and perhaps if he pushed it harder earlier on, it might have been different?
It's difficult to say, really. Clearly that's his way of swimming it, and if you've got the ability to come back strong like that, you got to harness it, and it's very difficult to say whether he could have gone out a little bit quicker and whether that would have changed how he was able to come back over the final 50.
Yeah, but it was a mighty effort.
Absolutely.
And they will be, assuming this result is concerned, we're still waiting for that. He will be the Scottish national champion, because Jamie's not a Scot. But waiting patiently here, I'm not quite sure.
Nothing worse than a big long wait like this.
Yeah.
For the swimmers and coaches and parents.
Yes, so keep cool, everybody. Keep cool. It's going to be fine. We think that we know that Toby Bullock has been disqualified. And there we do have a confirmation there. So Jamie Beach confirmed as the gold medalist, 2:27.78, just ahead of Oscar Churnside and Ross Anderton. brave swim from him, gutsy swim, really, I suppose, gave it his all in the end. 3rd place. So on to the 15-year-olds now. Line up there, Logan Scally of Aberdeen Performance in 0. Fraser Stewart of Step Rock in 1. Kai Connolly of City of Glasgow in 2. Callum Sinclair of West Lothian in 3. Evan Davidson of Perth City in 4. James Burnett of Warrender in 5. Finlay Nelson of Dumfries in 6. Adam Scott of Ren 96 in 7. James Boddy of Geary in 8. Thomas Traynor, South Lanarkshire in lane 9. Had the most confusing experience yesterday because there's 2 Adam Scotts, one from City Glasgow, one from Ren, and they were swimming side by side yesterday in a heat. It was the most confusing race I've ever commentated on, I think. But here we've got the Ren Adam Scott going in lane 7, but Evan Davidson of Perth by quite a margin, the fastest qualifier for this one, from Strathallan School and Perth City. And I think he would be the laid-on favourite here. But you never know. So 5 swimmers coming out pretty nicely out of the traps in the centre lanes. Evan Davison in 4, James Burnett off to a good start in lane 5. And he's maybe just got a narrow lead, the Warrender swimmer in 5. See as they come in. No, in fact, it's the other way round. Evan Davidson, 28.95 against James's 29.09. They're a second ahead of Finlay Nelson, Adam Scott, Callum Sinclair, all very close. And now Evan is starting to stretch away.
You could see Evan's class going into the final 5 metres of that 50. An excellent turn area for him. Come through, extending his lead of the second 50.
So let's see if he can build that lead more. So going into the turn about 3 metres clear. Let's see as they settle into their stroke coming out of it. Oh, he's probably got, what, 1.5 metres out of that turn?
Indeed.
33.0 against 35s for the chasing pack. So this certainly is going to form. James Burnett will be looking to hold on to second from Callum Sinclair. Thinking from memory that Callum beat him in East District age groups. Well, that was short course, of course, in Bathgate. So James will be wanting to reverse that here, long course at Tollcross, and so far so good. They've also got to worry about, I think that was Finlay Nelson in lane 6, just out of shot, but no doubt who is leading this one by, what is that, 13 metres maybe. Evan Davison bringing it in. He was a 2:12.33 in the heats this morning. I think he's going to be a little bit inside that here. And he is 2:11.38, so very nice stuff from Evan. Oh, it was close for second, and Callum Sinclair with a cracking finish there, just edging out James Burnett. So Callum gets the silver for West Lothian. James Burnett for Warrender takes the bronze. There's Evan, our winner, 2:11.38. Having a wee look at the scoreboard. Did he like what he saw? Came into this meet on a 2:10.90, so not quite at that pace, but very, very acceptable swim, I would have thought. And Callum Sinclair there, what about that for a finish? Again, we saw that in the previous heat from Oscar Churnside, and there Callum Sinclair did get his man, I suppose. Oh, we've got another disqualification. This time of Fraser Stewart of Step Rock, swimming out of lane 1. So that is now confirmed on the confirmed result for you, but didn't affect the medals. Davidson, Sinclair, Burnett, the 1, 2, 3. Adam Scott 4th, Kai Connolly 5th. So back to medals. So a bronze medalist, 11 to 13 age group, Daniel Hendry from City of Glasgow. Oh, we salute to the crowd like that. And Ross Anderton of East Lothian in the 14-year-old age group. So with that very fast start, and then just perhaps suffering a little bit afterwards. James Kilpatrick of Carnegie, 11 to 13-year-old silver medalist, and Oscar Churnside for the 14s. Medals being presented by Pam Thompson from the Jury of Appeal here at this event. Your gold medalist then, Archie MacArthur, is second of the day, the Inverclyde swimmer. So successful day for him. And Jamie Beach of Newcastle. Oh, he's a big lad. Big strong lad, that's what you need to be a 200 fly swimmer, I guess. And because he's not a Scot, Oscar Churnside will pick up Scottish national medal. They seem a little confused as to give it to. It's Oscar. That's who you need to be giving it to, Pam. There we go. So he's happy again also to be crowned the Scottish national champion. But it's good that we're getting these swimmers from south of the border, mainly it's Scots coming up to swim in the Scottish Nationals. That's good as well, because it gives us visibility of the Scots swimming down south, and but also the non-Scots coming up and giving some really good competition to our homegrown swimmers.
Absolutely, can only add to the quality of the racing. It's great that the Scottish guys get a chance to race against different people. So yeah, it brings out the best in them.
So now they've got the 16-year-olds. That's your lineup. Bailey McGinley of first in 0. Fraser Tetlow of Geary in 1. His teammate Kyle Mitchell in 2. Matthew McMillan of Incas in 3. We saw an Inca swimmer on the podium earlier. Can we get another one here? Stefan Kravitz of East Lothian in 4. So we saw Zara getting gold earlier. So now it's Stefan's turn to try and do that. Scott Fleming goes in 5 for South Lanarkshire. Kieran Lennox of Aberdeen Performance in 6. Ben Kelly of Warrender in 7, Jonah Turnbull of Midlothian in 8, and in lane 9 is Alex Wiseman of the City of Stoke. So that is the lineup. Some of them just taking their time to come forward. Here they are. Stefan Kravitz with a 2:10. Scott Fleming a 2:11. Historically, you'd always fancy Stefan in that, but Scott has been swimming pretty fast this season. So we'll see whether he can give Stefan a run for his money and perhaps go past him. So away they go. Out of the dive. Good starts from Stefan Kravitz in 4, and lane 6, Kieran Lennox. And Stefan getting into a stroke, and he's maybe got half a metre now, but now also Scott Fleming getting into his stroke, and he is coming up pretty close. We'll get a better view when we see the camera view at the turn, and you see there's not a lot in it at all. Stefan just with the touch, 200ths in it. Ben Kelly in 3rd, quarter of a second back. Then it's Kieran Lennox. Nice turn from Scott Fleming there. And he's looking good here.
Certainly is. That's a good third 25. He's trying to forge ahead.
He's opening up the gap, and well, certainly this would be a little bit of a surprise, but well, let's just wait and see how this works out. We're only at halfway. He's got a lead of about 1.5 meters. 1:02.02 against Stefan Kravitz, 1:02.96. Now it's Matthew McMillan has moved into 3rd place in lane 3. So Stefan will need to start to work this down if he's to do anything about Scott's lead here. And if anything, it's the opposite way round. Scott Fleming is continuing to build the lead now. Stefan, I think, is starting to motor. but he's got a lot of catching up to do, and I'm not sure it's really happening. Scott Fleming then is a bit more than a body length up. Let's see what the gap is now. 135.4 and 136.9. A second and a half in it. Scott Fleming still pacing faster than Stefan Kravitz. So Stefan would have to find something special here down this last length. He is starting to put the effort in though, and he is starting to close. So can Scott Fleming hold him off now? They've got 15 meters to go. This is another classic race here. So Scott Fleming did everything he could, but it looks like it's Stefan Kravitz coming through. It looked like he was way out of it. And then here he comes with a 32.0 final 50. Scott Fleming 34.4 there, and Matthew McMillan takes the bronze, second Incas medal of the evening. Oh, thumbs up, and Stefan and Matthew congratulating each other, gold and bronze medalists respectively, and I'm sure the same will be happening with Stefan and Scott as well. But oh, look at those nails from Stefan, you see that?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. What colour do you have?
Yeah, the black of East Lothian on his nails there. So confirmation there. In fact, no starter in lane 0. I missed that at the start. But, Kravitz, Fleming, and McMillan, the 1, 2, 3. Kieran Lennox in 4th place. So thoughts about that one?
That was a great race, wasn't it? You kind of always knew that Stefan had the class to be able to do something like that. It wasn't really clear until 15 meters out that he definitely was going to take that race. But a big, strong 32.0 last 50 was an excellent last leg.
So one more 200 butterfly. There's been some cracking 200 butterfly races, some quality wins well out front and some really tight affairs. Let's see what this one gives us, the 17, 18-year-olds. Finley Club goes for Aberdeen Dolphin in 0. Brodie Gordon-Gibson of Warrender in 1. Robert Burgess of City of Glasgow in 2. Callum Rose of Warrender in 3. Tom Robertson of Aberdeen Dolphin in 4. Andrew Bertoli of City of Glasgow in 5. Travis Davey of Dundee City Aquatics in 6. John Taylor, Aberdeen Performance in 7. Andrew Brodie of Aberdeen Dolphin in 8. And Cameron Creaney of North Lanarkshire in lane 9. Tom Robertson, fastest qualifying time. Time of 2:09.88. Andrew Bertoli about a second behind him in the heats. Don't discount Callum Rose, although he's coming back from illness, so will he be able to give of his best in lane 3? We'll see. I think it would be these 3 would be the contenders. Lane 1 off to a good start as well. Brodie Gordon-Gibson, another swimmer is definitely in form, but I doubt he'll be able to live with the swimmers in the centre as this race progresses. Bertoli in the blue of City of Glasgow. Robertson in the white of Aberdeen Dolphin. And they're just about together. Callum Rose just behind them. Travis Davey not far away. And Brodie Gordon-Gibson settling into the 50. Second 50 then. Well, I'm going to say Robertson just leading, but I'm not sure he is anymore. Really close, the front 3 here.
Very tight as we're about to approach the flags, going into the halfway mark.
So when they're in a race like this, is it about racing or is it sticking to that strategy that you came into the race with, irrespective of what that means as far as your competitors?
Well, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both, Duncan. There's clearly a race strategy. Andrew's forging ahead over the third 50 here, but you've got to be able to have that racing instinct, racing quality, ability to get up and race against the person next to you. And certainly on butterfly, make sure you keep an element of relaxation when you're in that kind of dogfight.
Well, it's not so much a dogfight now, as Bertoli really opened up in that third 50, 31.48 against 33.1 for Tom. So now it looks like it's about a race for second because Bertoli is away. About 5 meters clear. Robertson looks like he's got enough in hand to see off Callum Rose. So that I think will be the 1, 2, 3. Bertoli came into this event on a 2:08, 2:04, so he'll be happy with that, I would think. Actually, he did a 2:03 last week in Sheffield, so 2:03.4 in Sheffield, 2:04.5, so that's quite a good pairing, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. It's quite difficult for these guys to come back and swim absolutely at their best after achieving what they did last week.
So Bertoli, Robertson and Rose in 1, 2, 3, subject to confirmation, just waiting for the official result, but now we have it. Travis Davey in 4th ahead of Robert Burgess. So 2:04.59 in the end, pretty emphatic win, 3 seconds over Tom Robertson. So he came into this race on a 2:08.9. He was also a finalist last week in Sheffield in the junior final, did 2:08.01 there, and so take that down to 2:07.7. He's going to be happy with that, I would think.
Yeah, progressing all the time. It's great to see.
So presentations once again. So the 15s, the 16s coming out, and they'll be joined by the 17, 18-year-olds shortly. So Pam Thompson again doing the honours for us. And the bronze medalists in the 15-year-old age group, Warrender's James Burnett. And in the 16-year-old age group from Incas, Matthew McMillan. The silver medalists, West Lothian's Callum Sinclair. Just sneaked that silver medal from James Burnett right at the death. And in the 16-year-old age group, Scott Fleming, South Lanarkshire, led for so much of that race. And the gold medalist, what a swim from Perth City's Evan Davidson, a Scottish national age group champion in the 15-year-old age group. And what a final 50 from this man, Stefan Kravitz of East Lothian Swim Team, our Scottish national age group champion in the 16-year-old age group. So, one each tonight, Zara and Stefan. Golds apiece. And I think they both had relay golds as well, so all honours even at the moment. Now the 17, 18-year-olds, and there is Callum Rose of Warrender, bronze medalist. The silver medalist, Tom Robertson, Aberdeen Dolphin. And the gold medal in a pretty masterful swim. Excellent second half. City of Glasgow's Andrew Bertoli. So enjoyed those 200 flies.
Yeah, some great races. Some close ones, but also some really well-crafted races. And some of the boys that you see on the podium there.
100 backstroke for the women is next up. Again, we go up through the age group, starting with the 11 to 13s. So officials just get themselves organised again after the medal ceremony. And we'll get the swimmers coming out for the first of our backstroke finals. Here they come, just out of shot at the moment. So the line-up here, Abigail Crawford, City of Glasgow, goes in 0. Chloe Kirk goes in 1 for Mulgai and Bearsden. Katie Dixon and South Lanarkshire in lane 2. Ailsa Rogers of Durham City in 3. Eva Smith, Aberdeen Performance in 4. Isla Wetton of East Lothian in 5. Madison Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphin in 6. Chloe Semple in 7 for South Lanarkshire. Anna Lawson of East Lothian in 8, and Lisa McNair of First in lane 9. Eva Smith has lane 4, courtesy of her 1:12.9.6 heat swim this afternoon. Isla Wetton 1:14.0, Ailsa Rogers 1:14.6. Nearest to her in the afternoon heats. interviews here in the venue. That's done now, and the whistle will go, and we'll get them into the water and away. So, as I suppose you wouldn't expect these younger swimmers to have a particularly long push off from the wall. They're certainly not getting anywhere near the 15 meters. When would you expect them to start being able to do that?
Well, it's something that they should be trying to do, and aiming to improve their underwater skills all the time. Obviously, they need to be able to come up into their stroke before they start to slow down. So they'll practice when that is, and then eventually that will become a better and better skill for them to maximise the underwater phase.
So this is going to be tight, I think. Eva Smith first through the turn from Madison Christophorus and Isla Wetton. Isla Wetton may be the one who's putting in the challenge now in lane 5. And she is on the shoulder now of Eva Smith. It looks like it's between these two. Elsa Rogers in lane 3 now, I think, ahead of Madison Christophorus. But it's going to be another tight one here. Still just holding off is Eva Smith. Coming up strong also Elsa Rogers, and it will be Eva Smith taking the win. Nicely done there. 1:12.45 for her. Half a second faster than she was earlier. Confirmed there, you can see 1:12.45. Nice win for the Aberdeen performance swimmer. Isla Wetton, I'm pretty sure got second. They'll wait for confirmation of that. And Elsa Rogers, who finished very strongly, but I think just in third. We'll just await that is confirmed. That's what's showing on the venue scoreboard, and there it is confirmed for you. Not too much in it between Isla and Elsa, just 1600s. Eva Smith then the gold, Isla Wetton the silver, Elsa Rogers the bronze. So on to the 14-year-olds. And there's the lineup. Natalia Langan of Gateshead and Wickham in 0. Erin Ferris of North Lanarkshire in 1. Leda Weatherspoon of Hearts in 2. Melissa Menny of City of Glasgow in 3. Kiana Kurtzer of Warrender in 4. Niamh Savary of Newcastle in 5. Coco Croxford of City of Glasgow in 6. Phoebe Arbuckle of Warrender in 7. Madison Cool of Bucky in 8, and Isla Dobson of Kingston in lane 9. Well, Kiana Kurtzer having a very busy and very successful beat, the fastest qualifier here, but there were a couple of swimmers on the 108, Kiana and Niamh Savary. Melissa Menny not too far away, Coco Croxford, Layla Weatherspoon, and Kiana has the advantage of lane 4. Ooh, nice jump in. Just gives a little bit, one last little stretch as part of that, and every little helps. So let's see the starting skills here, and you see quite a difference in the 14-year-olds compared with the 13-year-olds. Nice start there from Katie Dixon in lane 2, but now the swimmers in the centre lanes getting into their strokes, 4, 5 and 6. So Kiana in 4, Niamh in 5, Coco in 6. And it is Kiana Kurtzer easing herself into the lead as we come up to halfway. Best part of her body length clear now, 32.04. Split in the heats, 32.46, so 4/10 faster. And she looks like she's well in control of this one, from Niamh Savary in 2nd and Coco Croxford holding 3rd at the moment. She's going to have to work for that. Melissa and Layla are right up there in lanes 3 and 2. But it's no doubt about the winner. It's going to be Kiana, no doubt about silver. But what's going to happen for bronze here? This is really tight for bronze. as Neve Severy comes in for the silver. Who gets bronze? Oh, Melissa Meni. That was close to a Hearts medal there, Phil.
Yeah, not quite, but a real good swim from Layla. But yeah, an excellent swim from Kiana at the front there. She had a great British Championships last week in Sheffield. And just keeping it going.
Yeah, is there anything Kiana can't do? Maybe, well, she's pretty good at breaststroke, but that's probably the weakest of the 4 strokes. But, there is confirmation of that result. So Kiana Kurtz first, Neve Savory second, Melissa Meni in third, all 3 getting under the 110s. Layla Weatherspoon just missing out by 22 hundredths, but getting ahead of Coco Croxford down the stretch. 15-year-olds now. Line up here. Chloe McLean goes for Dundee City Aquatics in lane 0. Layla Todd of Lerwick in lane 1. Emma McGavin of South Lanarkshire in 2. 3 is Catherine Renfrew of Perth City. 4, Heidi Wren of City of Glasgow. Lane 5, Maria Howe of Aberdeen Performance. 6, Zoe Crawford of First. Safrina Machin of City of Glasgow in 7. Naomi Wilson goes in 8 for Warrender, and Mia McLeod of Swimit is in lane 9. So confirmation of the lineup there for you. Fastest qualifier Heidi Wren, City of Glasgow, 108.5. Maria Howe not far away from her, 108.9 in the heats, and then swimmers on 109s. Emma McGavin, Catherine Renfrew and Zoe Crawford all in 109 territory. So using a good chunk of the 50 meters there, particularly in lane 4. Heidi Wren. And she's just got the edge over Maria Howe. Or does she? Because Maria Howe is moving pretty well here in lane 5. Also up there in 6, Zoe Crawford. She's battling for 3rd with Catherine Renfrew. Who's getting the touch? Maria does by 500ths. Let's see out of the turn. Oh, that's nice from Heidi Wren. Very nice from Heidi Wren. Suddenly she's up by 1.5 meters. It's a real job for Maria Howe to try and bring that back, but she's having a go at it. She's trying to claw that advantage from the turn, and she is starting to close back. Also coming up is Catherine Renfrew in lane 3. Still, though, it's Heidi Wren leading the way. I think she's going to hold on to this, but only just, and it's Catherine Renfrew coming in to take the silver ahead of Maria Howe, the bronze. It's a lovely turn from Heidi Wren, and then she sort of lost the way a bit down that last lane, I think.
It's a perfect example of skills winning a race there. Excellent 15 meter or 13, 40 meters underwater off the turn, and that's what did it for her. The girls were all coming back at her in the final half of the race, but that turn won it for her.
Yeah, definitely. And Catherine Renfrew really finishing strongly there, because we thought it was going to be Maria Howe that was putting in the challenge, and then suddenly Catherine was up there and sneaked the silver medal behind Heidi's 107.72. So Heidi Wren, Catherine Renfrew, and Maria Howe, 1, 2, 3. That's when you see the swimmers come to the podium once again. Our stalwart medal ladies there doing a great job, or gentlemen as well this time, and making the presentations. Here's the president of the Midland District, Jordan Young. So the presentation are coming up then, so waiting to get the bronze medal in the 11 to 13 age group. Ailsa Rogers from Durham City. And in the 14 age group from City of Glasgow, Melissa Meni. silver medalists. Isla Wetton of East Lothian in the 11 to 13 age group. And Eve Savary from Newcastle swim team in the 14-year-old age group. And the gold medalists, the 11 to 13 age group. Aberdeen performance swimmer Eva Smith. I saw those lovely knees this afternoon. The stencils UA showing where her allegiances lie. 14-year-old national champion Kiana Kurtzer, Warren de Baths. Kiana, it's fair to say, is a little bit taller than Eva. Oh, well done to all six. Some nice performances from them. Next up is the 16-year-old final. This one could be one of the closer affairs. As you line up, Lucy de Grosser of Best in 0, Kirsty Gilmore, South Lanarkshire in 1, Jessica Heaps of Fauldhouse in 2, Katie Rose of Warrender in 3, Melissa Mainwaring of West Lothian in 4, Chloe Barron of Midlothian in 5, Lucy Stoves of Dundee City Aquatics in 6, Ailey Armstrong of East Lothian in 7, Emma Creaney of North Lanarkshire in 8, and Natalie Marshall of West Lothian in lane 9. So Melissa Mainwaring, a 109.32 in the heats, Chloe Barron 109.51, Katie Rose 109.88, so 3 in the 109s. Then you've got swimmers in the 110s. Lucy Stoves, who we've already seen competing today, Jessica Heaps, Ailey Armstrong, and Kirsty Gilmore, all in 110s. So well, conceivably you could have a winner from just about anywhere here. Melissa Mainwaring will certainly be hoping it's hers, the fastest qualifier, going in the blue cap there in lane 4 for West Lothian. So pretty quickly into their strokes, these girls, and Melissa perhaps just edging it. Good start from Lucy Stoves of Dundee City Aquatics as well in the pink cap in lane 6. In between them, Chloe Barron just a little bit back for Midlothian. Also up there, Ailey Armstrong for East Lothian. I think it's going to be lane 4, Melissa Mainwaring turning first. It is 32.36, up by about a quarter of a second. Nice turn from Lucy. Still Melissa leads the way. Now here comes Chloe Barron, moving up into second place. Can she mount a late challenge here? Like we've seen before, quite a lot of work to do. She is gradually drawing up to Melissa, but I don't think she's going to get there. She's still about a metre and a half behind, and it's going to be Melissa, never really in doubt. 106.45, so that's a good bit faster than she was in the heats earlier. Chloe Barron does take the silver, and Katie Rose coming through to take the bronze, matching her brother's bronze earlier on in the fly. So honours even in the Rose household as well. And we're talking about family rivalries.
Excellent race for Melissa, that. I'm sure Coach Gordon Glasgow will be very happy with that.
Yeah, 106.45. She came into this lead on a 106.40 that she did last year, so gives her, I guess, a platform now to build on in the rest of the summer to move that on into maybe into the 105s.
Yeah, so another girl who had a good experience last week in the British Championships as well. So yeah, we'll definitely look to push on over the next few months of the season.
Now this is going to be a cracker. The 17, 18-year-old girls, 100 backstroke. The lineup then, we've got Lily McDonald going for Millfield in 0. Natalie Jones of Warrender in lane 1. Ciara Steriker of South Ayrshire in 2. Scarlett Ferris of Perth City in 3. Anna Green of Warrender in 4, Holly McGill of Heart of Midlothian in 5, Hannah Willis, City of Peterborough in 6, Fern Crichton of Perth City in 7, Ella Stevenson of North Lanarkshire in 8, Amber Stevenson of South Ayrshire in lane 9. So I'd expect this to be a head-to-head Anna Green and Holly McGill, because Holly had that fantastic 200 backstroke last week in Sheffield, silver medalist behind Katie Shanahan, and an absolutely outstanding swim, second in Britain. So this is the quality that we're seeing here in Glasgow. Anna Green, also very fine backstroker. So let's see what these two Edinburgh-based swimmers deliver for us. Can anybody else go with them?
Yeah, let's not forget as well that both these girls, Holly McGill and Anna Green, raced the 100 backstroke down in Sheffield together, side by side. A 1/10 of a second between them, with Anna Green winning in 62.9.
So it's close. Good start from lane 3, Scarlett Ferris, but Anna Green now, I think, just going past her. Holly McGill on her shoulder as we come up to the turn. I think the second half maybe would favour Holly, perhaps more than Anna. We'll see, it's 6/10 between them at the turn in Anna's favour.
Yeah,
good turns.
Holly is a great second half swimmer. Anna certainly gets out there faster than her, so it is going to be great to see what happens. It's a bit of a replay of what happened last week. But Anna's certainly in front, going into the final 15.
So this is going to be really close now. There is nothing really to choose between them as they go underneath the flags. It's going to be about who spots the touch. It is Anna Green by 1100s. Is it a replay? It's a replay.
Pretty much. Just a little bit slow, but that's still great to see it. Just a week after the British champs coming in and doing that.
So well done to both girls. It didn't disappoint there. Really cracking swim. Anna Green just nudging it by the finest of margins. 1100ths of a second from Holly McGill. So good stuff from her. Let's wait for confirmation of that result. There you have it. Hannah Willis taking the bronze just ahead of Scarlett Ferris. But you must be delighted with Holly McGill's progress this year and everything she's done so far and what she's still got to do, hopefully, in the months to come this season.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been great this season. Michal Adamic over there is coaching all the heart swimmers. Has done a fantastic job with her as well. And I've played my part. Yeah, she's been great, and that was an excellent swim back down in Sheffield. And more to come. See what that means. We're going to the summer meets.
Yep, let's hope so. Much more to come. So here we come with the 15-year-old girls and the 16-year-old girls. So bronze medalists having performances. Maria Howe for the 15-year-olds. And in the 16-year-olds, Warrender's Katie Rose. A silver medalist, Perth City's Catherine Renfrew in the 15s, and in the 16s, Midlothian's Chloe Barron. And the Scottish National Age Group champions in the 15-year-old age group from City of Glasgow, Heidi Wren. And in the 16-year-old age group from Swim West Lothian, Melissa Mainwaring. Nice to hear. Good cheers for both of those girls coming through from their teams. And 17-18s will be joining them. Don't get too much time to get out of the water enough to the podium. I guess that's a good thing because they can get it over and done with and then move on. Bronze medalist there in the yellow and blue from City of Peterborough, Hannah Willis. Hannah part of the Scottish junior team setup, as is this lady, Holly McGill, of Heart of Midlothian, our silver medalist, and this lady, Anna Green of Warrender-Bass, our national age group champion. So there they all are, our 9 medalists, the 15, 16, 17, 18s. Photo taken, move on. So one set of sprints for us this evening, 50 breaststroke for the boys. And that's your lineup for the youngsters, the 11 to 13s. Riley Griffin of North Lanarkshire, Aaron Machin of City of Glasgow, Fraser Dow of Perth City, Kyle Connolly of City of Glasgow, Lachlan Small of Stirling Swim, Dylan Mitchell of Warrender, Fraser van der Merlen of Stirling Swim, Finlay Bennett of South Lanarkshire, Tyler Coots of Shetland, and Lewis Lothian from East Lothian. We had a race yesterday when we had Lewis Lothian for East Lothian swimming against James Aberdeen for Aberdeen. So those swimmers waiting patiently as they are introduced to the gallery. Lovely to have spectators back with us. We talked about that a few times. It's not a full gallery tonight. Of course, it's a school night, as it were, for all the parents having to work, but lots of spaces if you're able to come down and join us here at Tollcross. We'd love to have you. Galleries, of course, make such a difference, get the atmosphere going here in Tollcross. So do come and join us if you can. But off we go now. 50 breaststroke, 11 to 13s. Fastest qualifier by about a quarter of a second, Lachlan Small. But a good start in lane 5 from Dylan Mitchell of Warrender. He's got the early advantage here. Also going well, Kyle Connolly in lane 3. So they're the front runners. Lachlan's certainly got a lot of work to do if he's to get up to them. Looking good for the Warrender boy here. I think it is going to be Dylan who's going to get this. He's been a swimmer on form, but it's pretty tight as he comes in, but he does take it. Only by 300ths in the end. Kyle Connolly nearly got him. When the camera turned, it sort of suddenly saw a new perspective that it was a lot tighter than it had looked on the camera that was tracking them down the lane.
I was looking at the pool view there, Duncan, and I thought you were brave to call that, and you got it right.
I got it right, but only just, and probably it was a fluke. 35-15 then. Dylan takes it. Kyle second. Lachlan Small takes the bronze. So the 14-year-olds are up next. Aidan Bruce goes for Aberdeen in 0. Johnny Martin of Kinross in 1. Gregor Ross of City of Glasgow in 2. Josh Elliott, Heart of Midlothian in 3. Ewan Weir of Dundee City Aquatics in 4. Torben Rowan of Dubai in lane 5. Corey Phillip, Dundee City Aquatics in 6. Callum MacArthur of Mulgine Bearsden in 7. Connor Christophorus of Aberdeen Dolphins in lane 8. And Sam Cool goes for Step Rock in lane 9. 32-4, Ewan Weir. Torben Rowan 32-5-3, Josh Elliott 32-6-8. Certainly got another Hearts contender here, Phil. Yep. What would you hope to see from Josh here? Never mind in terms of position, but in terms of execution.
Yeah, I was just to do his best. I mean, it's really important not to, I think I said it in the 200, but not to over rev here. Get that balance right between technique and element of relaxation.
Easy speed. Which of course isn't easy at all.
Certainly not.
Ewan Weir 32-4-5. Then, as I said, by 800ths, the fastest qualifier. And he is starting well there in the pink cap of Dundee City Aquatics. Looks to have the edge, but I'll learn to look at what's going on in the pool and not just the shot from the camera. And it's Josh Elliott is right there with him in lane 3. It looks like it's going to be between these two, and it really is all about spotting the finish here. Oh, so close 0.02 of a second. Josh Elliott just pipped at the post by the tiniest of margins there. 32.20 for Ewan. Oh, we wave to the camera there. Thanks, Ewan. And Josh just 0.02 behind him. But he'll be happy with that coming in on a 33.4 to this meet. So to go down to a 32.2, you can't be disappointed with that.
Well, knowing Josh, he won't be happy. But he should be. You're absolutely right. He definitely should be. It was a great race. It just got touched out on the end, but fantastic racing all around.
So your job as head coach is to convince him that he should be happy. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll leave that one with Michal this evening, and I'll come back to him tomorrow.
So on to the 15-year-olds. There you have them. Luke Garrity of Inverclyde, Mark Watchorn of Scotia, Dylan McCombie of South Aberdeenshire, Finlay Nelson of Dumfries, Connor Mitchell of Warrender, Royas Kringellis of North Lanarkshire, Marcus Blake, City of Glasgow, Thorin Liversedge of South Aberdeenshire, Logan van der Merlen of Stirling Swim, and Jaden Chan of Carnegie. So Connor Mitchell, the Warrender swimmer, has quite an advantage based on the heat times. 30.87 for him. Royas Kringellis next fastest, 32.63, so nearly 2 seconds slower. But you've got to do it in the final. So Connor in lane 4 in the familiar Warrender red. Decent start from him. Decent start as well in lane 3 from the Dumfries swimmer Finlay Nelson. But looks like Connor now starting to ease ahead of him and opening up the gap now. So he is about a metre clear coming down into the final 5. So this will be a Connor Mitchell win pretty comfortably in the end. Not getting any times coming up, the clock just running through, and that's certainly not the correct time. So, well, it might be for those swimmers. Even that I don't think it is. So I'm not sure what's going on there. There might be a little bit of sorting out to do, I think, in the timing suite on that one, because it was clearly Connor Mitchell taking the win pretty comfortably there. But we'll just have to wait, I think, to for the officials to sort that one out. So it's the second time we've had a little bit of a query about results. Got the last one sorted. Hopefully we can get this one sorted.
I was going to say the 21 points in the afternoon were impressive swims.
Yes, that's certainly true. We've got some times up on the board here in the venue, and shows Connor Mitchell 30.87. And then looking at it, 32.66, I think, for Royas, 32.78. Oh no, 32.32, Finlay Nelson. So looks like if those times are right, and I don't see why they wouldn't be, he'll be second. And I think just in third, Royas Kringellis, just ahead of Dylan McCombie. But we will wait and see if that is what the referee decides is the correct order. No doubt about Connor. He was clearly the winner there.
He was, and 30.87 exactly matched the time that he did in the heats.
Mr. Consistent.
Indeed.
So Finlay Nelson, 32.32 in second. He knocked about a third of a second off the time from the heats. So looks like he's the silver medalist. Royas Kringellis 32.66, pretty much the same time as he did this morning. So it looks like while they continue to sort that out, we're going to be going to the presentations. Hopefully we will get that as an official confirmed result shortly. But our presentations will take place now. As we keep things moving along, here come the boys in the 11 to 13s and the 14 age groups. So bronze medalist, Lachlan Small, Sterling Swim, the 11 to 13 age group. And in the 14-year-old age group, it's Dubai's Torben Rowan. Marchbank, the chair of the board of Scottish Swimming, making these presentations. Carl Connolly, silver medalist in the 11 to 13 age group from City of Glasgow. Looks pretty chuffed with himself, and why not? Josh Elliott, the 14-year-old silver medalist, Mr. Inscrutable, and our gold medalists, the 11 to 13 age group, Dylan Mitchell of Warren de Baths, and in the 14 age group, Ewan Weir, Dundee City Aquatics. That is a very smart top, I have to say. Dundee City Aquatics have done themselves proud with that one. Snags 2022 as well. And a gold medal to go with it. Now we are going to have to sort that result, I would have thought, before we start the next race, the 16-year-olds. You see there's no swimmers coming on just yet. So we'll see how, hopefully we won't have a long delay. So, I mean, we had that bit of a delay earlier on, didn't we, where the swimmers were left hanging for a bit. And I guess, is it probably better if you're still in the call room rather than out on the blocks?
Yes, yeah, it's a really tough situation if you're out there ready to race and you know, down to your suits, costumes, and then there's a delay. But if you're already in on the seats over there, it's not so bad. It's always frustrating, but it's a difficult situation when things go wrong and try to get that sorted out. It's impressive how quickly it does get sorted out.
Well, hopefully that will be the case here, that it will get sorted out quickly. I mean, they've got times that look to be good times to me on the scoreboard. The position orders on the scoreboard, you can see there the scoreboard up at the end of the pool there. It's a fantastic scoreboard that we've got here at Tollcross. It's certainly the best scoreboard in a swimming venue in Scotland by some margin. Really, really clear. You can see it from all parts of their pool, even if you've got dodgy eyesight like me.
I was just going to say the same thing about myself. I've got my lenses in, and I can see it pretty well, so it must be good.
Just behind that Scottish swimming board there is, you can just see there the 4x25 swim down pool. It's not the biggest swim down pool for a meet of this size, but I guess it's there and you can make use of it, and hopefully it doesn't get too busy. I've not really been around there during the meet as to see how busy it has got and whether it gets a bit chaotic there, but you can see the swimmers doing their swim downs and maybe some warm-ups as well. If you haven't had a swim until late in the meet.
It seems to have been okay. I've not been seeing too many crowds gathered at the end of the lanes in the swim down pool, so it's obviously working fairly well.
Good. So, patience is a virtue, they say. So let's be virtuous. Just thinking back to some of those last races, so those backstrokes certainly did not disappoint. Anna Green McGill battle was excellent. And that Ewan Weir, Josh Elliott battle, I guess the only regret for you is 2 silver medals, not 2 golds for the Hearts team. But,
just came out on the wrong side of both those races, yeah. but it was excellent to see, and there should be no disappointments. It's all about development and learning.
So for these teenage swimmers, I mean, not so much Holly because she's now sort of moving in towards the senior ranks, but Josh, as we take him as an example, sure, as a 14-year-old. So what are his aspirations now for the season going forward? Obviously be looking for breaststroke swims at the British in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, he put out a really, really impressive 200 last night here. I think he has the 100 coming up tomorrow as well, and those times certainly should get him into the top ranks, I think, of the British Championships later on in the year.
Are you conscious of what other people are doing in different parts of Britain, or just not really worry about too much about that and just worry about your swimmer?
Yeah, I think that's not something I look at, and not something I don't think I have the time to look at, to be honest with you. But I know that it is with the rankings and the qualification window for the British and Scottish swimming meets. It's something that the swimmers and probably the parents as well do keep a close eye on. But you know, we just come here to come to the Scottish Age Groups to do our best and post the best time you possibly can, and that's really what will get you a good footing in the qualification window.
So it looks like we are moving on now to the 16-year-olds. So it looks, hopefully they have sorted out that last result. And are we seeing the swim? No, we're still not seeing the swimmers coming on to the blocks yet, though. So just wait a bit more. The names are all up there, both on the venue scoreboard and on us. So we'll just run through them. Chap Mitchell goes for Aberdeen Performance in 0. Callum Aitchison of Bucky in 1. Max Pelosi, City of Glasgow in 2. Luke Hornsey of East Lothian in 3. Adam Scott of City of Glasgow in 4. David Smith of Glenrothes in 5. Magnus Bullo of Shetland in 6. Cameron Mitchell of Arbroath St Thomas in 7. Jake Gibson of Broch in 8. And Jake Holmes, City of Glasgow in lane 9. Still music playing in the venue, which suggests that we've not got clearance to progress. So it's getting a little bit frustrating now, but I'm sure everyone's doing everything they can to move us on. Of course, we don't know what caused that malfunction in the timing there. You know, maybe not just a case of sorting out the times. There may be something more fundamental with the timing system that we don't know about. Let's hope there isn't. It looks like they're doing a few test starts. Maybe gives us some hope. See there's another look at the starters. But still not being given permission to make their way forward. That's the running going. Clock from the test start, I think.
And just the one Adam Scott in this race here for you, Duncan.
Yep, that's the good news. I think they are different age groups, so for finals we're okay on that. I think one is 15 and one is 16. That's the 16-year-old who's fastest qualifier for West 50 breaststroke. Adam Scott, the City of Glasgow version. We did see the Wren Adam Scott earlier on. So again, you can see there on the scoreboard, there's some strange looking times appearing at the bottom of the scoreboard there. So clearly not through out of the woods yet in terms of what's going on with the timing system. But I'm sort of feeling optimistic now that we're getting going, because you can see the swimmers start to make their way to the blocks. So just run through them again for you. Jack Mitchell will go in 0, Callum Aitchison in 1, Max Pelosi in 2, Luke Hornsey in 3, Adam Scott in 4, David Smith in 5, Magnus Bullo in 6, Cameron Mitchell in 7, Jake Gibson in 8, Jake Holmes in lane 9. So they've had a long wait when they thought they were about to go, straight after those presentations. But hopefully that won't impact them too much. Bit of stretching. Make sure those goggles are right. And we're ready to go, we hope.
Yeah, those delays can be frustrating, Duncan, but it's all really down to how the swimmers manage themselves during that period. As you say, making sure they don't lose their focus or maybe switch off for a little while, and then, but to make sure they then do refocus when it comes to the time.
Yeah, because it is something that does happen in the best of meets, so you've got to be prepared for it to happen to you in your swimming career. So a reminder, the fastest qualifier, but not by much, Adam Scott from David Smith and then Luke Hornsey. Good start from Jake Holmes down at the bottom of your screen as well. But well, 10 swimmers, all very close here. This could go pretty much anywhere in the pool. But lane 9, are we going to have an outside smoker win here? I don't think so. Just coming through in the center lanes there at the end. And again, look, we've got problems with the timing. That's very unfortunate. You see the clock just showing us 14, 15 seconds, so, and no times coming up. So, oh dear, this does not look good.
Certainly doesn't. That's a real shame. Having waited so long, I hope things had got sorted during that period, but he's having trouble down there.
Yeah, they'll not be happy campers, and the swimmers leave. It looked like it was the City of Glasgow swimmer Adam Scott who got that one, but really we've got nothing to guide us, and it was a very tight contest across the pool. So we have to wait again for the results. So 2 in a row now, and I suspect that will mean that we'll be delayed again here for 17, 18-year-olds to come, because they'll want to sort things out. You can see there's lots of consultation going there down the bottom right of your screen. I wonder if that's manual times have been collected. I suspect it is. And then they'll be marrying that up with the finish order that the officials took. Pretty tough to, on a race like that, to take a finish order across 10 lanes. View there. There's your partner in crime. It's back to us, Thomas.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And you see the City of Glasgow contingent there as well. It was going so well. Just have to take them as it comes. And hopefully once again, it won't be too long before we get things back on an even keel. I can tell you that the result clearly has been called for the 15-year-olds now, getting that coming through on the electronics. So it was Connor Mitchell first, Finlay Nelson second, Royos Kringellis third. No sign of a 16-year-old result yet. I think that will take us a while. 17, 18s now will be the ones who are subject to the long wait, not to mention the 400 swimmers that have got to come after that. So they would have expected to have been swimming by now. But they're having to wait. We've got 400 IM to come after this last 50 breaststroke, and then 400 freestyle. Just having a look at these 400 IMs that are coming. Susie McNair, fastest in the 15-year-olds from Tegan Black, who won the 1500 freestyle yesterday. Not sure what that means in terms of 400 IM though. Then in the 16s, Amy McLeod, Eleanor Ross. Haven't seen a Highland win yet, although they've been close a few times. And then Nuala Gow will be back. So again, we've got the lineup, so I suspect we've gone manual on that 16 result. Oh, and what's going on here?
Looks like we're changing ends, Duncan. They're going to start from...
It does look that way, so we normally start at the scoreboard end and move down to what is normally the finish end. It looks like now we've decided that we've got better shot with the electronics, and it's maybe the starting equipment at the turn end that is causing the trouble. So officials scurrying to get into a different position for this. The swimmers have come down to the start end, so it looks like we're going to be swimming this in the opposite direction. That shouldn't matter too much, should it? Then we'll just get on with it and swim in there.
It shouldn't matter. No, it's clearly a change of focus, but you know, it's still the same 50 meters of the pool, and yeah, as long as they adapt to it, that's the important thing. And if they get the right times at the end of the race, as soon as they finish, that's extremely important.
That certainly would be a bonus given what's happened in the last 15 minutes. Are we coming on? The swimmers are all bunched there. I think we're doing a test start at this end just to make sure everything's okay at this end. Hopefully that's been successful and we can get on with things. Don't know that I've ever seen that before in all the years I've been commentating, where they've decided to swim the race the opposite way round.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. I can't say that I've seen it as well.
But it's a sensible thing to do, I would think. If we can't trust the timing system up at the starting equipment up at the other end, and you can at this end, then yep, let's do it. I'm not sure why we're not doing it, why we can't crack on. So I think maybe our issue is just making sure we got the right officials in the right place here before we get going. But, you'd have thought if they got the officials in the right place, you just move them to the other end of the pool. So another test start taking place. And we have got a running clock coming up on the, you can see it there on the bottom right from that test start. So, is that good? You'd have thought that's good.
Depends whether it stops.
That's true. Something agitating them that is stopping us from going. I do apologise for this, everybody. This is an unplanned gap, but we are now getting the swimmers coming on. So hopefully that means we can go. So the lineup here: Owen Carroll of Perth City, Brandon Aitchison of Bucky, Finn Bremner of Warrender, Matthew Garrity of Inverclyde, Murray Pritchard of Perth City, Micah van Blurk of Warrender, Robson Miles of City of Glasgow, Emil Moraski of Warrender, Sam Harrison of Perth City, and Thomas Christie, Aberdeen Dolphin. So in this one, Murray Pritchard ducked under the 30 seconds this morning, 29.9. Next fastest, Micah van Blurk, then Matthew Garrity. So we are getting the whistle, so hopefully this will be a trouble-free race. Up they go onto the blocks. So again, two red-capped swimmers in the centre lanes, Perth's Murray Pritchard and Warrender's Micah van Blurk. They're both off to decent starts. So is Matthew Garrity in the white cap in lane 3, also a very strong breaststroker. Looks like it's these three just ahead of Robson Miles of City of Glasgow, but which of the three is going to get this one? Micah van Blurk is looking pretty good in lane 5. He's just, I think, got the edge. Can he take it? Yes, he can, and very relieved to see those times all come up nicely at the bottom of your screen. So 29.77 for Micah. That's quite a bit faster than he was in the heats. Second place was Murray Pritchard, and third place Matthew Garrity. So Micah did well there, put in a really strong swim after all that long wait. Didn't affect him, clearly.
He seemed to be keep the focus and was certainly very strong in the last 15 meters of that race. Earned the win.
Came into this race on a 30.6, so take that down to a 29.7. Well, you're going to be happy with that, I would have thought. They warrant a contingent.
Definitely an impressive drop, and the team there have been swimming really well so far this week.
Murray Pritchard, again, for the second time today, ducks under the 30 seconds for the silver medal. And just ahead of Matthew Garrity. And I think we do have the results now from that 16-year-olds, and I can confirm, in fact, that it was Adam Scott, as we thought, taking the win, and there was just 100th in it for second place. Jake Holmes and Max Pelosi said it was close, and Luke Hornsey was pretty close as well, so can confirm then. So Adam Scott, the winner, Jake Holmes, silver, Max Pelosi, bronze, Luke Hornsey was fourth, Callum Aitchison fifth, David Smith sixth, Jack Mitchell seventh, Cameron Mitchell eighth, Magnus Bullough ninth, Jake Gibson 10th. So I think we're going to presentations now. So the boys, of course, 17, 18-year-olds, have to come back down to this end of the pool to get their gear, but that of course means they're in the right place for presentations, so there's always an upside. So we come to the, I think they're just announcing what the results from the 16-year-olds to the venue. So giving you that already as a reminder, Adam Scott the winner. City of Glasgow actually 1, 2, 3 in that one, so they'll be delighted with that, even though clearly there was absolutely no clarity of what was going on at the time. Just 100th between Jake and Max. So, very tight indeed. So hopefully we can get to our presentations and get things back on an even keel now. We've got no more 50s, so we're done with any attempts to start at the scoreboard end. Interesting to see what they do tomorrow, whether they will have everything fixed by then.
It's certainly the longest set of 50 breaststrokes I've sat through.
Yeah, I'd echo that. So we should be going to presentations now. So our presentation's coming up now. A little bit of confusion because of lack of clarity about who the medalists were, particularly in that 16 age group, but hopefully that's now resolved and we can get on with the presentations. Fast forward to the podium there. So we wait for swimmers to make their way. It'll be the 15s and the 16s and the 17, 18s. Hopefully they've all now had time to come up together. And here they come. Marchbank once again make the presentations here. So our bronze medalists in the 15-year-old age group, Royas Tringellis, North Lanarkshire. Yep, that's you, Royas. In the 16-year-old age group, from City of Glasgow, Max Pelosi. And And in the 17-18 age group from Inverclyde, Matthew Garrity. And silver medalists, 15-year-olds from Dumfries, Finlay Nelson. And in the 16-year-old age group from City of Glasgow, Jake Holmes. In the 17-18s from Perth City, Murray Pritchard. And your national age group champions in the 15-year-old age group from Warrender, Connor Mitchell. In the 16-year-old age group from City of Glasgow, Adam Scott. And in the 17-18s from Warrender, Micah Van Bluck. To shake hands or not to shake hands? That is the question in this COVID era.
It's always awkward.
We've seen a few fist pumps. We've seen a few, oh no, as you took your hand forward and then remove it again. Shouldn't be doing that. And then a few where we just put the medal over the neck. At least they're not having to pick it up themselves and put it on for themselves like they had to do in the depths of lockdown.
Yep, at least we've seen the last of the elbow bumps as well, I think. That's good.
Yeah, that's definitely a trend that we don't need to carry on. So we are now moving on to the 400 individual medley. Let's hope all our troubles are now behind us. So the 15-year-olds, reminder that the 11, 13s and 14-year-olds swam as heat declared events this afternoon, so we're not seeing any more of them. Starting with the 15-year-olds then. Zara Innes of Carnegie in 0. Cassie Wiper of City of Glasgow in 1. Zoe Crawford of First in 2. Charlotte Thompson of Midlothian in 3. Susie McNair of First in 4. Tegan Black of East Lothian in 5. Fern Gray of Sevenoaks in 6. Caris Mooney, City of Glasgow in 7. Louise Connell, City of Glasgow in 8. And Jessica Powell of Elgin in lane 9. So in this one, Susie McNair of First, heat time 5:16, Tegan Black 5:19. Those two a fair bit faster than any of the others. Of course, we saw a lot of variation through the 4 strokes in the heats, both this morning and afternoon. So don't expect it to be straightforward with this. Good start though from Susie McNair in 4. Fern Gray of Sevenoaks also starting strongly in the red cap in lane 6. So they're going to be 1 and 2 at the 50. Times 32.27, 32.51. Tegan Black third, just ahead of Charlotte Thompson. Charlotte's in the green cap there in lane 3 for Midlothian. And in fact, she's, I think, now moved ahead of Tegan Black into, or maybe into second place, actually. Certainly up there with Fern. And trying to get on terms with Susie McNair, but Susie has about a body length lead. 1:10.26 split at the 100. So these transitions stroke to stroke, Phil, that's quite a hard thing to coach.
Absolutely, it's the key thing in medleys. You can be good at all 4 strokes, but if you can't link them together, you know, not going to be a great IM swimmer. So yeah, the key is really trying to learn how to swim a 400 IM. You might be, you know, as I say, great at 4 100s, but you know how to put it together The transitions, not just the actual execution of the turn, but the transitions, 5 in, 10 out, are really crucial.
Certainly Susie in that transition from fly to backstroke looked very good there, and probably doubled her lead through that.
She did, and that's key. It's really important when you're finishing the fly to finish strong, but still feeling relaxed and able to get into there, get up and just rate fairly highly on the backstroke. Hold back the legs a little bit, ready for the breaststroke leg.
So then this turn that's coming up back to breast, what are we looking for here?
Well, commitment to the turn, and also making sure you're timing it, spotting it perfectly, and getting around as quickly as you possibly can. That's a tough one, going from the back to the breaststroke pull out in terms of oxygen. Getting that first breath on the first stroke of breaststroke, but she's executed it really, really well, and that's through training.
So things certainly looking very good for Susie Minnaert at the moment, completely dominating this. Fern Gray just ahead of Charlotte Thompson. Expect Tegan Black to make a bit of a move, a good strong breaststroker here, but she's got a lot of catching up to do to just get into the medals, never mind get anywhere close to Susie. I don't think anyone's going to do that. She looks to be in complete control here.
She does. She was another one that had a good competition down in Sheffield, the British champ last week.
Yeah, really promising 15-year-old from first. Let's see the Kelpies on their hat, sporting their main local feature in the Falkirk area. Still getting close, and Tegan Black is getting in range to challenge for a medal now, along with Charlotte and Fern. But still, this is very much Susie Minnaert and her show.
Susie's looking good behind her for a potential for a good race in the final 100 freestyle, but Susie is out in the front. This is the hardest part to do. Second 50 breaststroke, first 50 freestyle, getting that right, that's a key to a good 400 IM.
So why is that so hard?
Well, it's really difficult. Part of the thing is to try to negative effort each of the strokes. So the second 50 is faster, not so much on the fly, 'cause that's from a dive, but certainly on the back, breast, and the freestyle. And it's generally harder to negative split the breaststroke and come back strong that second 50. If you've got that, if you do that well, then you've kind of got 400 IM correct. Not fully, obviously. There's a lot more to it, but.
So Kirsty Minnaert through her final turn, and she is done and dusted pretty much here. 4:34, just under a 35. And Tegan Black has turned this around and now moved into second place. So she's looking good for the silver now, unless somebody can mount a real challenge down the final 50. No one's going to get close to Susie Minnaert. 5:16 in this morning's heats for her. 5:08 her entry time she did at the Edinburgh International in March. So she's going to be pretty close to that 5:08 here. Just outside it, 5:09.57. So very nice swim from Susie. Tegan Black coming in for the silver for East Lothian, as we see Susie Minnaert. You can see the effort there. She grabs for oxygen. Tries to smile at the same time to the camera. That's a bit hard, putting the camera on at the end of a 400 IM.
She'll be happy to know that Coach Andrew Addison is very happy with that swim, though, as you can tell. Just over to my left shoulder.
Yeah, so didn't really get the good shot of the other swimmers coming in. Certainly Tegan Black, I think, for the silver medal, but let's just wait for the confirmation that the bronze went to Charlotte Thompson, which it did, 3/4 of a second ahead of Fern Gray, 5:20.59 and 5:21.24. But Susie Minnaert, out and out winner there, dominant from pretty much the dive onwards. So very nicely done for her. 16-year-olds up now, and we've got Ella Chalmers of Eithon in 0. Kirsty Gilmore in 1 for South Lanarkshire. Melissa Mainwaring of West Lothian in 2. Jessica Heaps of Fauldhouse in 3. Amy McLeod of City of Glasgow in 4. Eleanor Ross of Highland in 5. Stella McCarty of City of Glasgow in 6. Maxine McCappin of First in 7. Melissa Goodbrand of Eithin in 8, and Victoria Niven of City of Glasgow in lane 9. So fastest qualifier here, Amy McLeod, 5:18. Confirmation of the lineup for you there. Eleanor Ross of Highland, second fastest into this final from Jessica Heaps of Fauldhouse. Melissa Mainwaring, of course, already gold medalist this evening, goes in lane 2. Oh, pretty aggressive start from Stella McCarty there, straight into a stroke and really pushing it hard down this first length of butterfly. Looks like Melissa Mainwaring and Jessica Heaps, 2 from West Lothian, 1 from Swim West Lothian, 1 from Fauldhouse, are pretty much side by side behind Stella. Through the turn, 30.92. Stella leads by half a second from Melissa. And that's continuing to be the order. Jessica Heaps in 3rd place. Stella there, obviously not the fastest going into the race, really attacking that 100 butterfly, playing to her strengths maybe, or just adrenaline getting hold.
It could be a mixture of the two for sure. And if you know, for what I am, you have to play to your strengths, but you also have to be able to put the whole thing together as a complete package. And she's a strong flyer. Yeah, get out there well on it, but you know, it's really important not to overdo it and put too much into the first quarter of the race.
So we'll see whether she can sustain this lead as we go through the race. Melissa Mainwaring certainly the main challenger at the moment, because things can change as we go from stroke to stroke quite dramatically in some cases. Jessica Heaps still very much in the hunt as well. Then we've got lane 1, Kirsty Gilmore, and lane 4, Amy McLeod, who certainly at the moment has got some work to do to justify her top seed position. Likewise for the second one, Eleanor Ross, who's quite well back. Maybe that will all change in the breaststroke. Looks like Melissa maybe just starting certainly up there now with Stella, if maybe slightly ahead of her. And Jessica Heaps still within a body length. You see the relative splits here. It is Melissa just turning first at 40.8 against Stella's 41.2, and Jessica also pretty much 40.8. So these three. Now let's see what happens in breaststroke. Amy McLeod, I think, will come back in the breaststroke, and Eleanor Ross will try to do the same. See if they can. Certainly it looks like Amy is starting to motor now in lane 4.
It does, and this is where the breaststroke specialists kind of come into their own. And it's also really important, you know, that sometimes they get into the breaststroke leg and think this is my time to go, and they really get after it. And that's what I was talking about in terms of the pushing the second 50. Sometimes they overdo in the first 50. The breaststroke can be a hazard that sometimes they can fall into, but she's certainly pushed through well here. Let's see how the second part can go.
So you can see there 43.0 Amy McLeod's 50 split there against 45 for Stella, 47 for Melissa. So quite a differential, and that has brought her right back into the mix. She's gone past Jessica Heaps. She's going past Melissa. She just needs to try and get past her teammate Stella McCarty. So those two now. Is it going to be a Glasgow 1-2? Still, of course, got freestyle to come. Everything could change there again. But you do often find that the swimmer with the momentum in the breaststroke takes that through into the freestyle. And that swimmer with the momentum is definitely Amy McLeod, who's moved from 4th to 1st there. Again, a very nice second half to her breaststroke, 44.29. And she's got a lead of a second and a half now. But Stella, I don't think is done yet. Neither is Melissa. Looks like they're the three, but particularly it's the two Glasgow girls Amy McLeod in 4. Trying to see off Stella McCarty in 6. Jessica Heap started to come at Melissa Mainwaring, so there may be a third place battle as well. But final turn, not too much in it at all. You can see Stella pacing quite a bit faster as they turn exactly the same time, 4:39.39. So can Stella keep this momentum going? It looks like she's taken the lead now. So this is a great swim from lane 6 to take this one. 4th fastest going into this final, but it looks like she's going to take it, barring something dramatic in the last few meters. That's not going to happen. It's going to be a Stella McCarty win. It's still close for the bronze. Stella McCarty, though, takes gold. Amy McLeod in 2nd. Who's going to get 3rd? Whoa, look at that. 200ths in it. Melissa Mainwaring, just by the skin of her teeth, holds on for the bronze medal. Stella's happy with that, you can see. She looks quite calm and collected there.
I'm sure she's hurting. Yeah, that was a great race, and we questioned whether the 100 fly was fast or too keen, but she really finished strong in that 100 freestyle. A lot left in her.
Yeah, she got that absolutely right. I kind of think she could have executed that race better, I don't think.
No, for sure.
So confirmation there, 5:12.48 for Stella. Came in on a 5:19 that she did just 3 weeks ago at the West District Pre-Stags meet. So take that down to a 5:12. Well, you've got to be happy about that. 17:18s, our last showing from the women this evening. And there's the lineup. India Marshall of East Lothian goes in 0. Elise Cousins of Perth in 1. Jory Horn, City of Glasgow in 2. Marley Craig, Sterling Swim in 3. Nuala Gow of Geary in 4. Drew Mackenzie, City of Glasgow in 5. Catherine Bailey of Perth City in 6. Isabel Wood of Sterling Swim in 7. Catherine Body of Geary in 8. And Libby Doubleday, City of Glasgow in lane 9. This one I think will be an interesting one, because Nuala Gow has had a longer gap from her race than she would have expected, so that might work in her favour. Fastest qualifier in 5:09. Drew Mackenzie, of course, very fast, very strong swimmer. Across the range, really good 200 IMA. See what she can do in this longer distance. Catherine Bailey could be a contender. Mari Craig. So off we go. So Nuala Gow looking for more medals. She was just pipped to the post by Erin Taylor in the 200 breaststroke. She'll want to put that right here. Perhaps not too much of a surprise that she's not off that fast in the fly. It is Drew Mackenzie beside her in lane 5. Oh, no, it's not. In fact, it's Catherine Bailey, 30.56, first to the wall. Good distance swimmer from Perth, but a good fly swimmer as well, good 200 fly swimmer. And she's using that fly expertise to open up a healthy gap here. Might be breaststroke where she has trouble, but we'll wait and see. We won't take anything for granted here.
A really good turn from Catherine as well. We're talking about the fly. That helped her set her up for the second 50.
Well executed turns from both our leading pair there, Catherine and Drew, as they settle now into the backstroke. Third place is close. We've got lane 3, Mari Craig, and her teammate Isabel Wood in lane 7. So it's still in contest for third at the moment. Nuala Gow back in 5th place in lane 4. She will come back, I'm sure, in the second half of this race, but she's certainly going to have to do it the hard way if she does. So still, Catherine Bailey leads the way, although around about a second advantage for Drew on that 50 back there, and she is starting to close in, it looks like. Still being held at bay, just about. Maybe not so much now. They're almost side by side now as they come to the backstroke breaststroke transition. Still just Catherine. 2:23.5 against 2:24.2. Then a gap of 4.5 seconds to Isabel Wood and Mari Craig a little bit further back. So Catherine and Drew. Probably for both of them, breaststroke the weakest of the 4 strokes?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly not so bad at the breaststroke, but yes, compared to the other strokes, the weaker ones. It'll be interesting to see how well they can hold things together. We see some of the more accomplished breaststrokers coming back at them, but they've still got a big lead with 150 to go.
Yep, Mari Craig going nicely in lane 3, and you can see Nuala Gao starting to make an inroads in lane 4, but still a long way back. So, you won't write her off just yet, but it's going to be tough. Still, Catherine just ahead of Drew, but, well, I don't know. Drew, obviously a very fine 100 and 200 freestyler, but Catherine a very good distance freestyler, and that might stand her in good stead at the back of a 400 IM.
You would think so, but you know, in a race situation like this, it's going to be very close in the final 2 laps. Anything could happen. And Drew's ability to sprint well, if she's got that left in her at the end of a 400, could stand her in good stead too.
So Catherine Bailey then has a lead of about 1.3 to take into the freestyle. You see Nuala Gao has made ground, but she's still in 4th spot, a fair way behind Mari Craig in 3rd. So we see the other swimmers turn as we then will, I'm sure, focus on the leaders, because it's holding up pretty well here. Catherine and Drew, surely it's between these two now as we come up to the final turn. So Catherine has led throughout, but, well, Drew is nicely poised here to make a challenge down the last length. She's only 4/10 back now. So this is all about who wants it more now. They'll both be tired. They'll both be hurting. Can Catherine hold Drew off down this last 50 meters? So far, so good. It's looking good for the Perth swimmer. If anything, she's pulling away now. So one last effort with 15 to go. Can Drew do anything about this? I don't think she can. It is going to be Catherine Bailey. Really good swim from the Perth girl. 5:01.99, some 12 seconds faster than she was in the heat and inside her meet entry time as well by 6/10. And, well, great stuff. Well done. Pushed all the way there by Drew Mackenzie. That certainly did not disappoint that race. She looks over to see the time on the board. I think she'll be happy with what she sees there. Mari Craig holding 3rd place. Nuala Gao never really mounting that challenge that we thought might come. So Drew Mackenzie 2nd, Mari Craig 3rd, but the winner and a gutsy performance from Catherine Bailey of Perth City. Thoughts on that one, Phil?
Yeah, we certainly saw Drew doing the right things in the final 100. She got onto Catherine's, side, that side of her lane rope to try and get some help from her, but it wasn't enough. She really tried her hardest, but Catherine was very, very strong in that second 100. Sorry, that final 100.
Yeah, she's a swimmer that's really probably had a bit of a fallow period through lockdown, but is coming into her own this season, is starting to really make some good improvements in her times. And we know, of course, Anne Dixon at Perth is absolutely first-class coach. Will do everything right for Catherine, I'm sure.
Definitely, yes.
So the medalists then, the 15-year-olds bronze medalist from Midlothian, Charlotte Thompson, and the 16-year-old bronze medalist from Swim West Lothian, Melissa Mainwaring. Second time on the podium tonight. The silver medalist, East Lothian's Tegan Black in the 15 age group. That wall paint's got a bit faded, or something anyway, I'm not sure what's going on there. And the silver medalist, Amy McLeod, from City of Glasgow. Have that great battle with that girl on the right there. So the gold medalist, a big, big win for Susie McNair of first in the 15-year-old age group. And much more of a battle, but a good, strong win as well in the end from Stella McCarty for City of Glasgow in the 16-year-old age group. Making the presentations here, the Chief Executive of Scottish Swimming, Ewan Lowe. 17, 18-year-olds hopefully coming out to join these medalists, and here they come. Just out of shot, but they'll come in now. So bronze medalist from Stirling Swim, Mari Craig. Silver medalist from City of Glasgow, Drew Mackenzie. And the Scottish National Age Group champion from Perth City, Catherine Bailey. Another, oh, do a handshake? No, no, no handshake. So the girls' night is done, but the boys' 400 freestyle still to come. 3 more races, so don't go anywhere. Just after 7:30, you can hold your dinner for a bit or bring it in front of your screen. You don't want to miss this. There should be some good ones. 15-year-olds making their way out. The line-up here, Kane Buchanan, Dundee City Aquatics in 0. James Boddy of Geary in 1. Zach Slater, East Lothian in 2. Callum Gould of Aberdeen Dolphin in 3. Evan Davidson of Perth City in 4. James Burnett of Warrender in 5. Greg Hall, Aberdeen Performance in 6. Thomas Traynor, South Lanarkshire in 7. Kai Connolly of City Glasgow in 8. And Edward Bell of Seagulls in lane 9. Evan Davidson looking to make it back-to-back Perth wins. And you wouldn't bet against him. Already been on the top of the podium once tonight. A win in the 200 butterfly. James Burnett was the bronze medalist in that. He goes in lane 5 here. So again, 8 lengths to the pool. Freestyle all the way. So, know that you can take too much from the first 50 and a 400 free. They're all going to go out there, and there's not going to be too much at the 50 between them.
It shouldn't be, no, and it's very much a case of getting through that relaxed, fast, and a good pace and rhythm.
Nice turn from Evan, just opened the gap up a bit. He went in a 10th ahead. He's certainly coming out of that, I think, a bit more, 3 or 4 tenths. The swimmers either side of him, so we are now starting to see a bit of an arrowhead forming, although lanes 8 and 9 are doing their best to disrupt that. Kai Connolly and Edward Bell, City of Glasgow and Seagulls down on the south coast in Dorset. 1:00:34 for Evan, now a lead up to 7 tenths. See there 32.09 against 32.3 for James, the next fastest. So how do you see the 400? Do you break it up into chunks, and if so, in what chunks?
Yeah, I certainly try to, and in terms of coaching, I guess even looking back to when I swam it as well, it really should be a case of quarters, 4 quarters. Break it down to hundreds. That first one, just set yourself up nicely. Feeling good, make sure you start to finish that the first 100 well and go into the turn with momentum, and then it's really where work gets done in the middle part of the race, the second and the third 100 particularly. And we can see that's what Evan's doing here so far. A very good second 100 in. And just try to bring more into it as you go through more legs. Try to persist with great underwaters all the way through.
There's quite often in younger swimmers you see quite a drop off in this third 100. And are you consciously trying to prevent that from happening, or do you accept that sometimes it's going to happen?
You certainly try to prevent it, both through what you do in training, in terms of how you develop the event or develop the stroke that you're trying to work on, but also in terms of the way you talk about race plans. Put the emphasis on putting a very strong third 100, not allowing yourself to back off, or phrasing it more positively than that, but making sure you are pushing on through the third quarter.
Certainly looks like Evan Davis is doing that. 32.5 for that last 50, so that's well up with what he's been doing. James Burnett now quite a long way back, but has a fair margin over the swimmers behind him. So it looks like it's going to be a Perth-Warrender affair, and it does look like we're looking at back-to-back Perth victories. Yeah, so 33.0 there. 3:11.11, 4.8 is the gap, and see he's pacing quite a bit faster than anyone else. So James Burnett will be looking to just absolutely lock down second place and not let these swimmers that are behind him get anywhere close. Zach Slater in fourth place at the moment, just behind lane 8 Kai Connolly, so there's a bit of a contest going on there, but Evan Davidson 31.5 for his penultimate 50. It's looking good, you'd have to say, for Kai Connolly out of lane 8 to take the bronze, so that would be a good result from, well, one of the outer lanes. But Evan Davidson is the man of the moment, so his time in the heats 4:17, his time coming into the event. Just desperately looking for, and it was 4:10, so in between the two, 4:14.31, but a very convincing victory for him. James Burnett takes second, a wee fist bump there, so we see the other swimmers coming in around him. Looked like certainly James Burnett second, Kai Connolly third, but we'll just wait for confirmation of that. That's what's showing on the venue scoreboard. As our final swimmer comes in, we should then see the board scrolled and up on our screens. And there it is, so confirmation, Evan Davidson then 4:14.31, James Burnett 4:23.23, Kai Connolly, excellent swim from him to take the bronze, 4:31 in the heats, takes that down to 4:24, and just ahead of Zach Slater in fourth place. Two more races to go. Here's the first of them. The 16-year-olds, Will Shepherd of Perth City. Surely he can't make it a Perth hat-trick from lane 0, can he? You never know. Ben Kelly of Warrender in 1. Mark Scott of Finns in 2. Callum Peebles, East Lothian in 3. Luke Hornsey of East Lothian in 4. Scott Fleming of South Lanarkshire in 5. Finlay Davis of Midlothian in 6. Jack Simpson of South Lanarkshire in 7. Ben McLaughlin of Geary in 8, and Jake Gibson of Broch in lane 9. Well, Scott Fleming had to do battle in the 200 fly with Stefan Kravitz of East Lothian. Now he's got to do battle with Luke Hornsey of East Lothian in this 400 freestyle. Luke was the faster by 4/10 only, so this could be a tight one. Callum Peebles 4:19 next best, so on paper anyway, it would be Luke versus Scott. Luke, I think, had plenty more to give from his time in the heat. He comes into this meet on a 4:07, so he'd be hoping to be in that sort of territory tonight. Callum Peebles off to a strong start in lane 3. Lane 1 as well, going well. Ben Kelly, but well, I sort of see this almost as the phony war period where everyone just feeling each other out, as you said, Phil, getting into their stride, having a nice comfortable first 50.
Yeah, nothing gets one over the first 50 of a 400. But you can lose it if you go out too crazy and give too much to it.
So the two East Lothian boys going nicely here. Look, Hornsey just edging now into the lead in lane 4. Callum Peebles on his shoulder, and then Scott Fleming just behind them. 59.17, 59.64, 59.97, so the three of them under the minute at the 100. So you're seeing differences in techniques. Certainly Callum's technique looks a little different from the other two.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's the slightly loping stroke on Luke. It's nice and relaxed. A little bit more, I'm not sure how you describe that, but yeah, it's everyone looking pretty relaxed and just trying to get themselves up into a good position to launch over the third quarter of the race. Certainly Luke looking very impressive. And these East Lothian boys, the East Lothian team in general, have been doing a great job so far. I know it's early days in the meet, but fantastic swimming from them so far.
Yeah, so Luke looking pretty good here. What's that, about a 2.5, 3 meter lead at halfway. 2.251, 31.9 against Scott's 32.4. Callum's 32.6 for that 50. So if he can pick up half a second in each of these lengths, he's going to just be building that lead up and up. But Scott Fleming will have other ideas about that, and certainly starting to move away from Callum Peebles and trying to just get on Luke Hornsey's feet. And then when we talk about riding the wave, is that something that he could do here?
That's what he should be trying to do for sure, and he may have in the back of his mind trying to do to Luke Hornsey what his team, Zara Kravitz, did to him in the 200 fly earlier.
So how close do you have to be and to be able to get that benefit?
Yeah, that's a bit too far away. It's you know, you generally have to be hip level or around about that to get some kind of benefit. You're not going to get too much here. Probably if you get too close in this kind of position, you're just going to get a bit of kick in your face.
So 100 meters to go. Another 32.3 for Luke, 33.1 for Scott. So this is looking pretty good now for Luke Hornsey. Callum Peebles has built up a bit of speed there. So can he mount a challenge to try and make it an East Lothian 1-2? Well, it doesn't look too likely. But I think it certainly looks very likely that East Lothian will get the gold. Luke Hornsey all set for that, surely. So turns for home 3:38. So level pacing on this last length 4:09. So he might not be too far away from his 4:075 entry time with a sprint finish here.
He's only getting further ahead.
Yep, the gold is almost round his neck already. Another of our convincing winners of the evening. Had a few of them and a few really tight ones, but this is in the first category. A good swim, 4:08.72 for Luke Hornsey to take gold. Silver for Scott Fleming, 4:13 dead. And Callum Peebles takes the bronze in 4:15.05. So a nice couple of medals there for the East Lothian teams. As you were saying, Phil, doing really well so far in this first 2 days of competition. And there is Luke, nice little sculling action there as he leaves the field. I think that might be Luke's first individual gold. I don't think he's had his main events apart from that one now coming up. Certainly had relay golds. So one more race to go after we just see that confirmation of that result, the full result there. Finlay Davis fourth, Mark Scott fifth behind our medalists. So the lineup for our last race of the evening: Owen Carroll of Perth City in 0, Luke Porteous of East Lothian in 1, Brodie Gordon-Gibson of Warrender in 2, John Taylor Aberdeen Performance in 3, Andrew Bertoli of City of Glasgow in 4, 2 more from City of Glasgow, Rory McKinnon in 5, Angus Johnson in 6, Nathan Campbell of Sterling Swim in 7, Owen Williamson of East Lothian in 8, and Jacob Wood of Elgin in lane 9. Andrew Bertoli, another one who has already picked up gold this evening. So can he double up here? He'd fancy his chances, I think. Winner in the 200 fly earlier on. So Bertoli in lane 4, 4:08 was a lot faster than anybody else. We had 2 4:16s from Rory McKinnon and John Taylor in the heats. So in the fly, we saw Andrew take it pretty cagily in the first half, and then he really let rip at the 100 meters for the third 50. So we'll see whether he does a similar tactic here of the first half, taking it steady and then pushing on. Certainly at the moment, he's sort of got himself up there, but not definitively winning the affair. Luke Portier starting well in lane 1, but it would be a surprise if he can sustain that, but well, you never know. Take inspiration from Luke Horns' swim just now. Just behind Andrew Bertoli now. Goes through the only one under the minute. Luke Portier's just over it, then Angus Johnson and Rory McKinnon. Most of them on that 1:00 with Andrew Bertoli just edging it now, and we'll be starting to build that. What do you think? Do you think he's going to do a similar tactic, steady, and then push on in the third 100?
Certainly looked like a very conservative first 100, and it already showing those signs that he's moving on now over the second 100.
So 35.15 split there. So just pacing 3/10 up on his Glasgow teammates. Every chance you would think here of a Glasgow 1-2-3 with the two, McKinnon and Johnson, pretty much stroking side by side. Just Rory McKinnon with the edge as we come to the halfway mark. So 2:03, so a 31.6, so a pretty similar split to Andrew's third 15. Now let's see if he does wind it up. That's what I'm expecting, but let's see if Andrew delivers for me. It's going to be a good scrap, I think, for the silver medal. I wonder whether John Taylor can get into that. He's very much a distance specialist, so he might have a good second half on him. But at the moment, it's the Glasgow boys side by side. 31.4, so that's fairly similar split, maybe slightly faster. So maybe it's a case of just gradually winding it up.
Yeah, that was a good split from Andrew, and yeah, the Glasgow boys still looking very impressive. These two will push each other on for the second and third spots.
Yeah, it does look like we are going to finish off with the Glasgow 1-2-3 as we come up to the 300. And it's going to be Bertoli leading them through it. 3:05.69. So again, just winding it up. 31.2 that time. 32.5 for Rory. So he's just finding a bit of pace now just to try and pull away from Angus Johnson. And we are seeing John Taylor start to make a move in lane 3. Has he left it too late? Can he sneak onto the podium? No problems about where the gold's going though. Yeah. Andrew Bertoli, final turn. 29.49, so he is now really starting to let go. Motor, 2.5 seconds faster than McKinnon split there. So really good stuff from him. Certainly Rory McKinnon now set for the silver. Only those two within the range of our camera as we see Andrew Bertoli, clear winner in our last race of the evening, 4:04.35. That was inside his entry time. He did a 4:01 in Sheffield last week, but again, backing it up nicely there with that 4:04. Second place, Rory McKinnon, but John Taylor did do it. He managed to come through and take the bronze there from lane 3. So just disrupting that plans for a Glasgow 1, 2, 3. Well done, John. So one set of presentations to go before we wrap up for day 2. It's been another good night. We've had some thrillers. We've had some big wins, including that one there. Andrew Bertoli 4:04 for his second gold of the night. We've had problems with the timing. We've had swimmers moving from end to end. What more could you possibly want in entertainment? Highlight of the night for you, Phil, as we wait for the final presentation?
Oh, well, sitting next to you, Duncan, to be honest with you. I've heard you commentate at meets for the last 20 years or so. You seem to have done it effortlessly, and it's been great. It's been great getting the opportunity to sit down and be part of it from this position. But no, in terms of racing, possibly that 200 breaststroke at the start of the day when, again, I forget the names, but the girls going through really strongly just to get it at a touch with a great last 50.
Yep, so we had the bronze medalists from the 15-year-old age group. That's Kai Connolly of City of Glasgow. The 16-year-old age group, Callum Peebles of East Lothian Swim Team. Silver medalists, James Burnett of Warrender for the 15-year-olds. And Scott Fleming, South Lanarkshire, for the 16-year-olds. And the gold medalist national age group champions, Evan Davidson for Perth City. Another great swim from him. And Luke Hornsey from East Lothian Swim Team. Very good cheer from his teammates. Gallery pretty much empty now, but the teams are all still there to celebrate their swimmers on the podium. And then our 17-18s, John Taylor of Aberdeen Performance takes the bronze. Rory McKinnon the silver for City of Glasgow, and Andrew Bertoli his second gold of the night, as was Evan Davidson's. He takes our final gold medal. So that brings things to a close. Our final photographs are taken. It's been a delight having you here in the box, Phil. I hope you'll do it again sometime.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm sure to try and do it again in the future, maybe not this week.
So we'll wish you a good night, and slightly later than we had planned. So from Phil Potter and myself, Duncan McKinnell, we'll wish you a very good evening. We'll see you tomorrow for a 9 o'clock start. We'll come on air just 5 minutes before that, 8 to 9. See you then.